Speak on the podcast. I'm talking about it tonight. Can we find a resolution? These youngsters out here killing one another. We're gonna talk about it tonight. My whole state, Louisiana, and all over the country. Young black male, black on black crime. We'll talk about a resolution. On this thing, come on. Facebook, what's going on? What's going on? Man, we back at our weekly podcast, man. Tonight, man, we're gonna have a special podcast tonight, man. It's something that's gonna be serious, man, and I hope you all tune in. I won't be on here too long today. We're dealing with a serious subject. It's been some shootings going on in the city of Bastrop in Louisiana. And it's at some alarming rates with the murders, and we want people from the city of Bastrop, man. I think we have a few of them at the city of Bastrop to come in and come speak on it and tell us what's going on the ground. It was 4 youths that were shot. 2 died, 2 survived. And it was a 20-year-old that killed the 2. And one of them was a young baby. Youngster probably looked 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, something like that. And we're going to get into it, man. So we're gonna get live. Man, what's up, man? What's going on? Facebook. Man, we live and in color with this thing. And I just want to thank everybody for coming out, man. Those that's gonna come on, we waiting for people to come on, and we're gonna keep moving. We always keep this train moving, man. You know, 1 million. We're gonna keep the train moving. We don't stop. So we gonna get this thing going, man. Today, I just want to thank everybody for coming out. I'm going to be here on here shortly. The Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan, today is his birthday, and we doing a celebration today. And I just wanted to come in, man, give a few counts of the news and what's going on, man. First of all, man, we still dealing with Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is still in the hospital. They said it was a mysterious illness. Suge, what's up? I see you. It was a mysterious illness that he had, but a lot of people saying that it was a stroke. We haven't seen Jamie Foxx in over a month. He was shooting a film. I don't know the particular of the film yet, but they had a stunt double to finish out the film of the movie that he was committed to. I think the actress in that film just quit. She came out of retirement, and some reports is that she just quit. Whatever is happening to Jamie, it said Jamie yelled out, according to reports, that they trying to kill me, and he's speaking on that. So we're going to, and when he spoke on that, people were, the actress was alarmed by that, man. It really was out because we hear a lot of things that's going on. Because Jamie Foxx did speak on Pete Diddy. He spoke on the industry. He spoke on what's going on in the industry, man. What's behind the scene, and what's happening, man. The things that they do at these parties, and what go on, and it's kind of a sacred thing. And it's funny how people, when they speak about these parties, they get their issue handed to them, or their careers destroyed because they are breaking the covenant, really, of what's going on in these type of celebrity parties, man. That they really don't, really they try to speak about. So, man, he did suffer some complications, and they say it's a mysterious health scare. His daughter, Corey Fox, revealed on the 12th his since deleted Instagram posts of Jamie Foxx, 55, experienced medical complications the day before, and quick action and great care helped him with the recovery. Fox shares Caroni, 29, with his ex, Connie Klein, the race star, also a daughter, Alicia Bishop. I think that's the name. She's 14 years old. Ex Kristen Grimes. So it's a post here saying I appreciate all the love, feeling blessed, but they didn't show him, show his picture. But some people saying that he had a stroke. So we're gonna keep Jamie in our prayers, man. We all know about the controversy with Chris Brown and Usher. There was reports that there's alleged. We're not saying that it's true. We're not bashing nobody. We're not bashing Usher. It's allegedly that Usher got in. Tiana Taylor was at a party, so Usher was throwing a surprise party for Chris Brown. Chris Brown was it was a party for Chris Brown. The backstory of it is that Tiana Taylor and Chris Brown were kind of at odds with each other because of the Michael Jackson special that it was canceled for the AMAs. It said Tiana Taylor knew about it but didn't give Chris Brown the heads up. Okay, so now there was a little resentment there. Fast forward to this point, he throw a party. Mind you, it's a surprise party. So Tiana Taylor was there at Usher's party, at the skate party in Las Vegas. So you can see it in the picture. He's trying to talk to Chris. Chris, yelling at her, or whatever they got going on. Usher trying to talk to him. Step outside behind the bus. I believe they was getting prepared to do the show, and said that Chris Brown's crew jumped on him, and Usher had to jumped on Usher, and Usher had to perform allegedly with the scars, from the alleged jump. Now, fast forward to this, LisaRaye, she's defending Chris Brown following the fight. Why he got to chill. Chris Brown supporter, as a supporter of LisaRaye, following his alleged altercation with Usher over an argument. Tiana Taylor and Brown were reportedly having. The Kill Bill actor discussed the topic on an episode of Fox Soul show's Cocktails with Queen on Tuesday, May 9th, alongside with a co-star Claudia Jordan, Vivica Fox, and Celine Johnson. While Claudia felt that Chris needs to take things down a notch, LisaRaye saw it different. This was LisaRaye. This is a quote. It said, "Why he got to chill? Why he got to chill?" She asked. What if he felt just like that? What he said, F her. What if he felt like that? What I don't like about it is that every time his name is brought up, that he's always gets automatically blamed because he is that way. We know him to be that, so he got to be him. So we already know, his issues with abuse, allegations of abuse, his allegations of abuse with Rihanna. It's like if I'm known for stealing, and you know me for stealing, everybody in the hood know me for stealing. I go to my homeboy house, and something come up missing. I'm gonna be the first person they blame because of my background. Not saying that I stole, the person probably just misplaced whatever they had, but because of my background, I'm allegedly the blame for stealing whatever my homeboy say I stole. Because he got this thing and his reputation on his back, man. Chris a hothead. He's mega talented. I won't take the talent from him. But she's saying, he just that's who he is. But at the same time, man, you gotta look at environment, what's going on in the environment, and what's happening, and what's in really how things take place. So with in the Chris Brown situation, man, that remains to be seen. A lot of it is alleged way women bashing. We not bashing Chris Brown. We ain't bashing Usher. It's just alleged reports of what people's opinion is. So we want to make that clear. We're not here bashing no women. We ain't here bashing Usher. We're not doing none of that. We're not bashing Chris Brown. These are alleged reports that's being reported on the blogs. Black, what's going on?
What's that in which?
So, and she said she continued that what I don't like is when people have that kind of stigma, because I got it. It's quick for you to think that, oh, Lisa Ray would have done that. Oh, or Lisa Ray said that. And I don't like that, because the very next time it could have been very different, but you blame me because of my past. See, and that's what I just said, because of her past. If you known for cussing out folks, if you known for stealing, if you known for fighting, people gonna blame you for that. And that's just what that is with Chris Brown. And whatever however's gonna lay out, if they still friends, that's between them two. But we just reporting what we're seeing and what's going on. And we're gonna keep y'all posted on Jamie Foxx. He's been, they saying it's Jamie Foxx reportedly not. He said he's not in a life-threatening situation after mystery medical complications. He's not in a life-threatening situation, but some people saying that he had a stroke. And we're gonna keep Jamie in our prayers, man, because Jamie is funny. Master impressionist. He nailed Donald Trump. So it's a beautiful thing, man. I don't see Jay coming on, so I don't know what's up with Jay, but I guess he'll get here when he get here. But yeah, Black, what's going on, man?
You got it.
Yeah, we dealing with the dealing with this thing. These children, man. And trying to really get a solution and what can be done, some action, what can be done in the city of Bastrop, bro. Look like you're freezing. Could you hear me?
Yeah, I'm over here messing with settings.
Oh, okay then. Okay. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, what enlighten them on what happened over the weekend, if you know anything.
Yeah, the youngsters, it was 4 youngsters that were shot and 2 killed by a 20-year-old. I think they were in range from the ages 15 to 17. Within that, one of the youngsters looked real young, man. He looked like he was about 15 years old. But they made the arrest of the young man, 20 years old. And you was explaining to me, I was like, man, what a 20-year-old hanging with a 17-year-old. But it does, because when we were growing up, I guess we did. But we hung with our peers and we hung with older people. But we were young. You know what I'm saying? We were 15, 16, 17 years old, so we were young. So, but to shoot somebody, man, I don't care. You don't have enough life experience to have beef. You don't control no corner to kill. You don't control anything to kill two people. It ain't that much anger in the world that you want to shoot two people. You got 3 lives gone.
He
You
actually
got 2
shot
that's
4
dead.
people.
She shot 4 people and 2 died.
Right.
So you got 2 that's dead and 1 for to go to prison for in Louisiana. We're gonna say for the rest of his life. I don't know if they still do execution, but I know for the rest of his life, he probably gonna sit down for a while. So you know, he done lost his life. And you young, you 20 years old. You 20 years old. You just
I don't think they think,
life.
man.
You just beginning life.
They don't think.
Yeah.
And like I said, I always give props to Dewey Rock Tomaso.
Yeah.
He taught me to think first because I used to have a hot head, and I would talk to him about things I've done and things I was thinking about doing, and he say, "Man, that you need to learn how to think first."
Right.
And I'm like, I thought about it before I did it. He said, "Nah, you didn't think about the consequences if you do what you did."
Right.
You know, when I run over his house, and he stayed in the sticks. So when you do wrong, a lot of us go to his house and we know ain't nobody gonna look for us or find us there for a couple of days.
Right.
But he give you a speech on that thing first, because if I would have thought first, I wouldn't be hiding at his house.
Right.
So I'm thinking if more of our young people would have somebody to teach them things such as to think first, such as the different lives you're affecting from your action.
Yeah.
You know, if I kill this person, what's going to happen to me? Will his people kill me? Will his people come back and kill my people?
Right.
You know, what's wrong with, especially when they're that young, you know what I'm saying? Well, I'm saying teenagers. What's wrong with fighting it out?
Right.
And if you do shoot him, what's wrong with shooting him in the leg and in the arm? You know, we used to get, he got shot in the leg. When we was coming up, so many people got shot in the leg, and then you wanted to show out to shoot them in the ass. You know, it was just like it was just a different time. I guess we really wasn't focused on killing nobody. We mainly just want them to leave us fuck alone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Leave me alone. So and you know I'll do it if you mess with me again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But right now, they have access to these guns. Like I said, one other time we was on here and a similar situation happened. They have access to those guns and they gotta use them. It's like you just gotta use it. It's like you got a pantry full of potato chips, and whether you hungry or not, you gonna eat them because they there. So they want to use the guns because they're there.
Right.
They don't think about the consequences. They don't think about the families that they're they don't think about the families that they destroying. They don't think about none of that.
Right. And you can't bring that person back. You can't bring that person back, man. Once you dead, you're gone. Yeah, you're gone.
Yeah, they gone. They killing them like it's a video game, and that they can just reset it.
Nah, it don't work like that, man.
And you taking some innocent. Well, we say innocent, but you taking a child away from their parent. The parent supposed to go before the child, you know.
Right.
And they are taking the deaths and everything in their own hands.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know. I mean, it's crazy to me. And like I say, if that things like this was going on in Oakland, you know, in the 80s, and you just would never think that we would see something like that in Louisiana, Monroe, and Bastrop, and Crossett, Arkansas. You just never thought you would just really see that because you was like with those all the towns being so small. Everybody know each other, and that's what we was talking about on a post. They were saying that that's happening all over the world. Teens killing each other, and then I had to break it down to them. It's different when that teen is in a small town where everybody pretty much know each other. If you don't know somebody, you know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't know Jimmy, your aunt know Jimmy's mama.
Right.
Then when you sit and talk, you like, oh, okay, that's who that was. And then they didn't even been at a function you were at. You know, everybody pretty much know or affiliated in some shape, form, or fashion with somebody.
Right.
If they not affiliated, you did business with them. Whether they made flyers for you, whether they did your hair, whether they fix your car, you gonna somehow know, oh, that's such and such little nephew.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know that. You know, so when towns are that small, it hits different because you it's at home. It's what you call closer to home. And just imagine how many people in that town right now that's terrified, afraid to walk to the mailbox, afraid to let their child pretty much go to school. You know, you just don't know when you hear something like this, what effect it does mentally to the people in that community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, especially if you live on that street, or if you live 2 and 3 blocks within that facility, and you don't know if they're going to retaliate. You don't know what's good. You know, you just don't know. Just like the guy in Texas that went to the mall and did that shooting. You got people now that's not even, that mall finna lose a whole lot of business because people don't want to go out to the mall because they don't know if that's going to happen again. And you got people in New York that seen that. People in North Carolina that seen that and saying, well, hey, I'm not going to the mall. People here in Atlanta, hey, we not going, you know, to a mall because that could happen to us. You know, so it may not bother me because I know that's in Texas. But then you get that person that's cautious, period, and life, you know, and see life different. They like, well, shit, I'm just gonna stay in the house.
Right.
Especially now that they got delivery services bringing things to your house, especially when they got curbside.
Right.
Because you go up in and you walk in Walmart, you got 4 walls to deal with. You know what I'm saying? 4 walls.
The experience of not having the experience of human interaction. We become so standoffish. A lot of times, man, you see them gunmen. They said that this man was in the military, and he had issues in the military. He had issues in the army, but the army didn't really put no notice out for him when he got his gun. They didn't put no notice out because he screwed. He had issues in the military when he was discharged, and we don't know what people are dealing with. We don't know what the pandemic manifests in people because it's like after the pandemic, people just went crazy because we've been locked down for so long. That experience, we never saw nothing like that where the streets was bare. It was like a holiday. You know how the holidays is and there's nobody out on the streets. It was like that for about 18 months. You know what I'm saying? Like when you talk to me at the job, shoot, man, we threw about 5 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Everything was done until 11 at night. But now everything turned up to 11. You know, I work up to 11, work up to damn near time to go from in the morning. But you're dealing with people, man, that's been locked down. You're dealing with mental health issues. And these youngsters, man, I believe a lot of it is dealing in environment. They died, not just on a physical food diet, but a mental diet. Listen to NBA YoungBoy, listen to the rap, playing GTA, and it's when it's easy for you to kill somebody, that's when it's a problem because we're becoming sociopaths. That I can go shoot somebody and I don't have no feeling. So we're predators of one another. You can't even really sit outside and take a breath in the park because you got to watch yourself. You know what I'm saying? I stay in the area. It's seemingly peaceful, but we don't know if somebody's going to have a bad day. And we got to run and scatter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
or
like
I may meet somebody that hate black people. And then there you go.
but like you say, you never know these days when something's gonna happen. Like they had a Juneteenth thing in Bastrop a year or so ago, and a guy from Chicago was just out there supporting the cause, out there showing love, and he ended up getting shot in the neck. Straight bullet. And so it's like it makes it hard for the community to come together because you never know why you're together. It's some bullshit gonna jump out.
Right.
It's like, man, I just hate that we're seeing that. And then you got the murder suicide that happened in Bastrop. It's like this weekend was a plague. It was like 4 lives lost that was reported. They had 1 or 2 funerals already going on down there for Saturday. And then they had to wake up to the news of a murder suicide on top of 4 teens getting shot and 2 of them dying. It's like everything happened at one weekend. Then some of the posts, Bashop's cursed and this and that and that. I just feel like the things that worked 10 and 20 years ago in the community don't work today.
Right.
If you're gonna be out there trying to be mentors, trying to be an advocate or whatever for the youth, you got to come with a different strategy than what I did 10 and 15 and 20 years ago, than what Terry Matthews and Willie Charles McKee, rest his soul, did 30 and 40 years ago. You got to come up with a different strategy. You dealing with a different type of beast right now in that city with the teens, period. But I say that city because it was struck this weekend. It's going on in Monroe. It's going on everywhere. But I'm saying that city because it's small and everybody pretty much know everybody. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So it got to be a different strategy. But what I think is when they took the village, like we talked about a while back, the village is no more. Right. So you don't have the village. And what the village helped you raise your children. You know what I'm saying? The village was that sight of eyes when you weren't there. And the kids of today know that the village is not out there. When that parent first said, keep your hands off my child, don't put your hands on my child. That's what ended the village. That was the beginning of the end of the village.
Right.
But when mama went out and did her club thing, did her party thing, went and went over her friend's house and sat up and did the strawberry daiquiri and things. When she did that, we had the neighborhood watching us.
Right.
So if she told us not to come outside, we were scared to go out in the front yard because we didn't know who was going to see us and tell.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't cell phones.
Right.
So when she get home, the telephone rings. Your eyes get big as 2 saucers, big as plates, looking around, wondering who she listening to. You trying to listen hard to try to see. You know what I'm saying? Who she talking to? Because you done went up to the street, or you done went up the street, or you done snuck to the store. They don't have that no more. The kids don't have fear anymore.
Right.
And someone posted, when we posted it, someone posted that a lot of the parents of today are afraid of the children. Our mom and dad and them weren't afraid of us.
Mm-hmm.
We were afraid of them because they were dropping them fees. They was getting switches, twisting them together. They was getting extension cords. They was getting belts. Anything they got their hands on,
right,
to knock us on our ass.
But they didn't have, you know, they afraid because these children got guns. And it's
you think that's why the parents are afraid?
It's a proliferation of guns. I'm gonna tell you, I believe the real jump off of gun violence that I can kind of recall. I know up to 1994, they banned assault weapons. It was a ban on like AK-47s, automatic weapons. And then they lifted the ban. And when they lifted that ban and you was able to get assault weapons, is where you saw that spike in violence, because it was contained in California. But now you see in a spike, and it's more frequent now. It's been since the beginning of the year, it's been over 30 to 40 mass shootings. 30 to 40 mass shootings. And we are in the 5th month of the year. And it's 30 or 40 mass shootings. You can't even go out and in just a public space without somebody going crazy. You know what I'm saying? I stayed in the Mandalay Bay. That was the spot where the guy, he was shooting down at the concert goers in Las Vegas.
Right.
We don't know where people in their mindset and what they got going on, you know, nowadays. So they're afraid that they may go to sleep and they child standing over them with a gun, shoot them in the head. Because a lot of these children, they become sociopaths.
Okay.
It became dangerous.
Now, that's why I say this podcast is also therapeutic, because I didn't see it the way you just broke that down. How they're afraid because they don't know if their kids have a gun, and if they jump on them and beat them up like our folks did us, that kid will come back and retaliate and kill them. I mean, we see it in the movies.
No, that's real. That's
wow.
real. That's real. And you shooting a little boy in Milwaukee. He wanted a drone. His mama said no. But she was surprising him. He came in there, shot in the head. The police came. He shot in the head and used the card, her credit card, to order the drone while she was dead. So when he came, he was like, did the drone come? His mind, they gone. The fact he killed his mama, he wasn't thinking about his mama. He was thinking about the drone. And it's a 10-year-old child. This is a 10-year-old child. You say some parents condone some of the action. Yeah, that's true, Chuck. You know, you gotta damn near. I know back then, I didn't want to go to reform school. That was the biggest thing back then, especially in Milwaukee, going to reform school. They'll send you. They didn't play with you. If you violated something so egregious, they'll just send you to reform school. And it's a place where they lock you up. You're going to go to reform school and you're going to be locked up in reform school. Down in Monroe, they call it Swanson, LTI, whatever they call it, Green Oaks. But now, I think I'm glad I'm not a teen in today's society. I wouldn't want to be a teen in today's society because it's too dangerous. It's not even fun anymore. You can't even see the joy on people's faces. And we just looking at, when I was asking you about slow dancing, the youngsters don't slow dance. They don't even sing. You know how we used to get in a circle and somebody was good at singing. That's weak now to know how to sing. Rapping. We used to be somebody beatbox. Suge, no, because Suge used to beatbox for us in elementary school. In junior high school. beatbox, Brian will rap, I rap. We'll be in the circle rapping. That's what we did before homeroom. But now, they killing one another, man. They know right from wrong. Yeah, they know right from wrong. But when you dealing with a person that's a straight up killer,
I mean, I don't believe they straight up killers. I think them children don't know what they doing.
No, they don't. But what I'm saying is not consciously they straight up killers. I'm talking about somebody, a youngster that ain't gonna hesitate on shooting you. He's a gunner. He not messed up on shooting you. He don't understand that's not fighting somebody, because that's what they're accustomed to. They're accustomed to using a gun, but they're not fighting with their knuckles. They're not getting bruised up, getting cuts in their face, getting cut.
But you know,
they're not accustomed to that.
What throws me off on that is we were scrapping and fighting for so long. Then we used to hear the old heads say, I don't fight no more. They got a knife on them, or they got a gun on them, or both. And they say, I ain't gonna fight you, youngster. You know what I'm saying? I got something for you. I ain't gonna fight you. And that was when he was 55, 60 plus. He would say that. Now you got people in their teens, 20 years old, scared to throw hands. They holler about, I ain't gonna fight you, I'm gonna shoot you. I got a tool for you. And I'm like, where they do that at? You know what I'm saying? What? They ain't gonna fight. And then if they do fight, and then I was also told this guy got jumped in Bastrop. He got jumped by 3 people, I think. And he barely fought back. And I say, well, why you didn't fight back? He said, because, man, I know I could have beat him, but if I would have whooped him, he was going to come back and shoot me.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? So he took that ass whooping to live to see another day. He balled up.
Yeah.
You know? And I was like, he said, yeah, man, them cats got guns.
Right.
And if I would have grabbed one of them and broke his neck like I wanted to, I probably wouldn't be here today.
Real, sure. He said too much clout surrounding guns glorified to kill and not protect. That's true. That is so true, man. But
when they in their teens, early 20s, right. My question is, how are they getting the guns? How are they able to have possession of that gun, and you living with a parent, you living with a guardian? How are you able to freely walk around or be able to go get that gun?
Man, they can get it off the streets. They can get automatic weapons from anywhere, man. They can break into gun depots. They showed a video of a train that was stopped in Chicago's urban area. Hey, Chanel, stopped in Chicago's urban area. Hold on. Well, let me park the bus real quick. Who got married, Chanel?
Oh, my daughter.
That was your daughter?
Yeah, my daughter.
Oh, okay.
No, I thought Chanel that got married. I say she be on here lying.
Yeah, you know, you could have warmed this up.
I said she be lying to us. She hard on the podcast.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
I mean, I am a softie on the inside, but I don't know about all that.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, she no bullshit on the podcast. Then go sneak behind our back and get married in Vegas.
Hey, Chanel.
That's my oldest biological child. She's 22.
Congratulations, Chanel.
Yeah,
do something for me. I need you to help steer the ship with Black.
All right.
I gotta step off for a second.
Okay.
And he gonna keep you. He gonna update you on what's going on. We're dealing with the guns and the solutions, so he'll do that. Right. So I'll holler back at y'all in a minute.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, we on here trying to go into detail about these kids with these guns and being able to shoot for teens and killing 2 of them.
Right.
It's like they desensitized to death. I mean, I don't.
Exactly what I was going when I was listening just now. That they desensitized. You know,
But
I
I'm
mean, but it's
saying,
everywhere. Like it's on the video games, it's on all of the movies, and everything is gory, and you know, and so when you seeing that stuff on such a regular basis, your brain it's not shocking to you no more, right? If you live in the hood and you come from the hood and that's what they do all day, every day, and you see people getting shot all the time, then it ain't no big deal for you. You
so
know,
even at a teen or 20, 21,
Mhm.
you just got that in you. Like, I'm just going.
If that's your environment, if that's how you grew up, you only know what you're around. You only know what you know. You
So
know.
in your eyesight, what role does the parent have in that? Because I know a lot of people that grew up in the hood, that grew up around
Yeah,
hood shit.
I mean, I did too.
They didn't go to they didn't go to jail.
Right.
Graduated, went to college. They're
Yeah.
working good jobs now.
Mhm.
They escaped it. And then,
Yeah.
coming up back in the gap, it wasn't like it. Growing up in the hood wasn't like it is today, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had more. I don't know about a lot of other people, but my parents was on my ass. You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. Mhm.
I couldn't bring certain things in the house. If mom had a hunch that I had liquor hid in the house, when I leave, she go through my drawers.
Right.
She'll
Right.
find gin bottles,
Mhm.
rattlesnake. It was this drink called rattlesnake back in the gap. She'll find that in there, some Boone's Farm,
That Boone's Farm, that's
and
my.
they would sit it on my desk.
So that you know they found
When I
it.
come home from school, I'm like, damn, they went through my shit.
They found my
So
stuff, man.
that made me not want to bring the stuff home. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? We got a hold of reefer and all that. We had our little weed.
Yeah.
They would go in my drawer and they had a bag sitting up there, and they waiting on me to come home. So they give me time
Right.
enough to open my door. They hear me open my door, go in my room, and now here they come out telling me what they got in the room, and they'll take my weed, you know what I'm saying? And all that. So that made me not want to do things.
Right.
Because they were so in my ass, per se.
Mm-hmm.
I think in order to find a resolution or a solution, you got to find the root of the problem.
Amen.
And
Yeah.
I feel like, and I know a lot of them gonna disagree,
That's okay.
but I feel like the root starts at home, man.
Mm-hmm.
If I didn't respect my parents at home, I'm not gonna respect nobody in the street, because I live with these people. They feed me, they clothe me, they make sure my well-being is fulfilled.
Right.
So if I don't respect them,
right,
why would I respect my neighbor?
No, I'm not.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And the neighbor was close. You go and borrow sugar, shit, you run out of whatever, you go over there. Hey, you out of tissue? Hey, you got a roll of tissue we can borrow till tomorrow.
Right.
You got some soap, we ran out, the store is closed, and I think if the parents would teach respect in the home, because if you go back and look at all the teens that's doing the killings, all the 25s and others that's shooting people left and right, all the ones that's robbing, stealing, and breaking in people's homes, and holding guns up against 65 and 70-year-old people, stealing their stuff. If you go back and do the history on that child, you're gonna find out that the parents weren't hands-on in their child's life. Not all the time, because I know some of the single mothers are doing all they can.
Right?
All they can. And at the end of the day, a child is gonna do what they want to do. But if you would catch that child. Like I say, they a lot of people been asking me. I ran a youth program in Bastrop for 5 years plus 5 and some months straight under the Honorable Clarence Hawkins. And we offer tutoring, mentorship, you know, and all that. We took them on trips. We had them picking up trash in the bad neighborhoods, taking them to Pizza Hut or wherever they wanted to go afterwards. Everybody eat, you know, we took care of everything. Put some through Job Corps, had some to graduate, had some to get the GEDs.
Right.
1 or 2 went to the military. So we had a youth program back then. And the kids, and this was 20, I'm gonna say 06 to like 2010, you know what I'm saying? So 2012, we had that going. The kids were the guys that threw to us, because it was youth of incarcerated parents. So if they had a father in jail or a mother in jail, the mayor would send them to us.
Okay.
And the ones who didn't have the father present, oh man, they had a chip on their shoulder, and they talked to their moms like they wasn't this, they wasn't that. And I never forget this guy, Justin Williams. He was the first one that I actually heard the rage in his voice. And I went to the door. He didn't know I was at the house. He in there fussing and cursing his mama. This boy might have been 16 years old at the time. And he talking to his mom, man, like, I ain't doing shit. You ain't da-da-da-da, because he missed his dad. You know what I'm saying? He was in love with his dad. He was a daddy's baby. Daddy in jail. So he felt like mama can't tell me nothing. And they said, he doing it now, you know, and I went in there, and I'm hearing him in the back room just cursing. Right? I said, I ain't going nowhere, I ain't doing shit, because he was trying to make him go to school.
Right.
And he going out. And so when he got through, you know, he was so mad at her, man. He had tears in his eyes when he came from that back room. He didn't know I was there. And so he came to the front, and he mad, you know. He just looking at me like he just mad. And so I was like, you through?
Right.
He'd say, huh? Because, you know, he didn't say sir at that time. If you meet him now, I should have contacted him to come on here.
You should have.
But I say, you through? He said, huh? Because he tough. I say, you through? Through what? I say, cursing your mama out and talking to her like she ain't shit. He turned his head from me. I said, man, don't you know that you shorten your life? I say, the more you disrespect your mom, the closer you putting yourself in the ground. You know, you respect your parents, you live long. You know, so I gave him that speech. So I took him off. I told him to come on, let's ride with me.
Right.
He didn't want to go. You know, he mad. I said, man, come on, we finna ride. You know, I'm DJ Black though, so he want to be a DJ. So he got in the car with me, and we blocked. And he wanted me to teach him how to DJ. So I used that as my leverage.
There you go. That's the currency.
Get your grades, go to school. I want to see these D's come to C's. I want to see them F's turn to D's. I want to see you jump a whole letter grade. And I'll see about teaching you how to DJ.
Right.
And so he was real excited about that. You know what I'm saying? So I gave him a DJ name, you know, and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think it was DJ Wheels or something like that. So he calmed down. I made him apologize to his mom. I took him out, gave him something to eat, you know, and all that. We had a whole like 3-4 hour. I canceled everything I had going. I just kicked it with it because I wanted to know the root before I actually deal with this child. Because the mayor said, hey, this is his mom having problems with him. We don't want him to end up in the system. We need you to see if you can work with him. And I don't like failure.
That's right.
So when I went over there, I was like, I need to find a way to get into this guy's head. What do he like? So then I found out that he was interested in DJing. He was kind of shy, but he had to be hard for the streets.
Right.
Because of, like you say, his environment.
Yeah.
And so finding kids like Justin is hard to find these days because they overplaying. I feel like they overplaying or over involved in the hood, where if they seen with me or another mentor, a lot of the kids in the hood are gonna look at him some type of way, because you got people like Warren Anderson in Bastrop that's trying to do something. You got it's different organizations that's trying to save the youth down there. They trying to save them. D.D. Green, you got Boss. There's different people trying to save them, but they not gravitating in the way that they did 20 years ago. It's a new breed of teens out there. Warren doing a pretty good thing, because he's trying to get them onto the little alpha brotherhood thing. And so he got about 7, 8, you know what I'm saying? And our motto was always, if you can reach one, you're doing your job. You know what I'm saying? So he got a good 5 or 6, dedicated, maybe 10 under his wing. And I know D.D. Green have a big impact. And I know Boss Jones, he does a whole lot. I'm talking about this man, Boss. I think it's Leontre Jones. He goes in his pocket and put on big events, try to put on big events for the kids. But it's not grasping them the way it did 15 and 20 years ago. It's a whole new beast out there. So you got to find, because the kids these days just come and eat your pizza and then go right back as soon as they leave your joint, go and shoot up a house.
Right.
Back in the day, we used to do all that stuff, and they'll actually listen.
You found his currency. Like, everybody has currency, right? What they would work for, what it is they would do something different for, right? And DJing was his currency, and each kid has their own currency. And I think it used to be that most of us kids had kind of the same currency, right? And I think overall, it's still connection. It's still, I want to be loved. I want to be taken care of. I want to be heard. I think all those things still exist, right? But we're dealing with some tough kids, right? Who's going through a lot more stuff. And the world is different. They got exposure to how bad the world is too, And so, and you're talking about, in places like Bastrop, like where, the poverty level is, so high, right? New Orleans is one of the same places where the poverty level is so high in New Orleans to, if you lived in the New Orleans, any of the New Orleans zip codes, you qualify for certain programs just because you lived in that zip code, because the poverty level is this low across the board, right? And so when you come from spaces and places like that, you do have mamas or daddies that's single and they got to work all the time. They don't get to see their kids. So kids are latchkey. They coming home, taking care of themselves and doing their own thing and all that kind of stuff. Some kids are built different. They are but I think it winds up being that one person, right? I was one of those kids too. I had certain teachers that took me under their wing. There was always a person in my life that, was able to take up that slack and be able to pour into me and all that kind of stuff. I thank God for those people. I think it's those people who helped, keep me off the street and get me to college and all those kind of things. You know what I'm saying? So it is each one teach one. Each one, if you can save one, you're doing a good job, but it's the same type of kids. It's just more junk. It's just more junk that we have to deal with. You know what I mean? They're exposed to so many more things than they used to be. They into so many more things. They got more access. You were talking earlier about where they get the guns from. They got way more access to weapons and I don't know where they get them from because I ain't in the game like that, and I never was and all that. But definitely, they're getting access to these guns. They're getting access to the things. And earlier when you posted, of course, I'm going to always talk about the mental health of things. These kids are sad and they're mad and they're hurting. There are pieces that are missing. And so, and so much systemic stuff how long have been since Bastrop been a thriving town?
It's been a minute.
You know what I'm saying? Years. So you're living in the midst of ruin, right? I can't get a job. My people can't get a job. Everything is poor and broke and sad, and you know, poverty mentality and poverty states is just sad, you know. And so, what I got to live for? I'm gonna pop
So
this
when
corner
they
because I ain't
do
got.
that, like I was saying earlier, and like Phantom was saying, 2 lives gone, 2 were in the hospital, but we lost the one who did the killing. His life gone too. So the one who did the shooting probably felt like it don't matter.
Yeah,
I ain't got really nothing to live for no way.
Yep. Yep. Nothing
And
to live
so
for.
it you know, we used to be afraid of shooting and killing somebody. But like
Right.
you say, they have more access than what we had. We barely used to hear about it. What was it in 1 or 2 rap songs? You know what I'm saying? Melly Mel told the whole story. Broken glass everywhere. People pissing on the stairs. Just don't care. Can't stand the smell. Can't smell the noise. He broke it down to let you know what it was like living in the ghetto. So people who wasn't in the ghetto learned about the ghetto then.
Right.
And these days they have more visual, and now they have access to the guns. Because when we were coming up, if we got a 22 when we were in high school, we felt like we was big shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If we got Lord forbid, if we got a 25 or 38,
Right.
you know, we was like, man, we got a whole gun out here. Now they got Tech 9.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
you know, assault rifles and
assault rifle. And it's nothing.
You mentioned a minute ago too. Okay, we had 1 or 2 songs that was talking about it, right? But they got so much music now that's glorifying, you know, that ghetto mentality or ghetto life and killing, and you know, and the brain don't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. It don't know the difference, you know what I'm saying? And so if you get so desensitized, you listening to it all the time, niggas killing, I got murder on my mind, you know, like everything is murder, kill, kill. You know, it's the same thing when we talk relationships and sex and stuff. It's everywhere. It's all over the place. And so if that's what you're inundating yourself with, you know, that's what you're feeding, then that's what you're going to respond to. That's how you're going to operate.
I feel also that if that child respect the parents, that respect to go outside the home as well.
It will.
Like,
it absolutely will. Yeah.
Like,
I still don't call people, I don't call grown folks by their first name unless they're around my age or younger. Like anybody that's older than me, if they appear to be older than me, they are Miss So-and-so.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm 51
yeah, because you were taught that respect at home.
Like that.
And
you know, our neighbors were Mr. and Mrs. Brown. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they watched the house while my mama gone.
Right.
You know,
and
stuff. Best to respect them.
And we respected our parents though. Whether they beat you, whether you didn't like them, you still respected them. You respected them. If they said, we knew not to, like Austin was saying, we knew not to touch our parents' things. We didn't go in their room. And if we did, we was creeping. And if you heard the house pop,
sneaky with it. Yeah.
You hear the house go, you hear a car across the street, you running out their room. You know, now they just go up in there and do what they want, play with the guns.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like it's no respect at home.
Right.
That's the deal. I feel like it's no respect at home. In a lot of the cases, not all of them, but a lot of the cases is no respect at home. And I feel like if there's more respect at home, that respect that you instilled in that child from a young age, when I say young, I'm talking about like 5 years old, 6, 7, 8. You need to be drilling in them. I'm the parent. This is respect. You respect your elders, you know. And then I'm thinking too, church is not practiced in the homes today, even though we understand what religion is. But when we got grown and older, we did what we did with the religion thing. When I went to college, I got open to so much. Yahweh, Buddhism. I mean, I tried a little everything. You know, I was 5% Nation of Islam. I mean, I was poor righteous teacher. You know what I'm saying? I studied it all. I know about Yahweh, all that. And then I came to my conclusion that all of them have one thing in common: a creator. You get what I'm saying? So the guy standing around in the pulpit messing with the deacons' wives and trying to have sex with the people in the church, the other women in the church. That was my rebellions for not going to church, because I knew the pastor was hitting on my aunt. I knew the pastor was looking at my mom's. So I was like, he ain't what it do. But when I went to college, I got open to so many different religions, and then I just sat back because it was so many, it was becoming overwhelming. And I said, what do all of them have in common? And it's a creator. Right. And so I said, okay, so when I get on the book, I say, I may jump up one day feeling blessed, super blessed, and I might say, shout out to, the creator. Special thanks to the creator for allowing me to see another day, you know what I'm saying? But just because we know, we feel like we know about God and the creator and who we want to believe in and what's not true, and the Bible is just a novel, because we know that, that's cool. But that child may need that structure because the village is gone. So because we don't practice church, I guess, when you get grown like we did, like Big Mama and them made us do, that child still needs some type of spiritual guidance. And they do. Where they know that if you sin, it's death. You get what I'm saying? If you can gift that child into that at 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 years old, teaching them the fear, at least putting the fear of God in them, the fear of the creator in them. Well, I feel like that could be a start.
I think just like we talk about the reverence of parents, there should be the reverence of your creator, right? And so I don't necessarily subscribe to the way that we grew up in, the church and all that, because to me that's bullshit. All that stuff that we learned was bullshit.
Right.
And so I wouldn't want to teach my child bullshit, right? Because it's rooted in fear and it's rooted in shame, and all that. And that's not how I would want my child to be raised. But do they need structure? Absolutely. But I would teach them the spirituality that I've learned, right? And I would talk about the creator, and I would allow them to explore that when they were old enough to do so, which I don't think should wait till you get to college. I think you should be exploring that, when you start asking questions, right? And stuff like that. And so, explore the different things and figure out what works for you. But at the end of the day, I do feel like there is a creator. And at the end of the day, we are supposed to treat each other well and treat ourselves well and love our fellow man and respect each other. And because that's the other thing that I found is a commonality among all the religions and all that, is that there is a creator, and the basic rules are love yourself, love other, and love others, take care of each other, right? Do unto others as you would like to have done unto you. Be kind. All of them have that underlying basis to them. How they go about doing it is different. Their rules and regulations and all that. And for me, that's all man-made stuff, right?
Right.
Based upon whatever person.
But it's no fear, is what I'm saying. I mean, we have to find the root. We need to, like this is trying to find a resolution. But before we can find a resolution, we got to find the problem. What is the problem? But and a lot of people was coming on there saying, it starts at home. They be afraid to get on the platform and express themselves because they don't want, they're afraid of the scrutiny that comes behind it. They know I don't give a fuck. And I'm going to say what I want to say anyway. I'm going to say what I want anyway. Absolutely. And so that's why if we was talking about sex, if we was talking about cheating and threesomes, it'll be 20 people, 30 people plus with something to say. But when you talk about something positive, everybody run, about something positive. But the deal is, I just feel like since we don't have the village, the village is gone. We shut the village down when Alberta said don't put your hands on my child.
My child.
We shut the village down when Mr. Jones started touching on the teenager.
Right.
The village got shut down back then, so it's no village. So you don't want nobody telling your child nothing. You don't want nobody telling you nothing on your child now. That's our business. Everything is our business. But we bring these children into this world. Now they're our business. So if you don't want nobody else in your business, and you have these children that you brought in this world, then that's your responsibility alone now.
Right.
By any means necessary. We understand that you're a single parent.
Right.
We understand you have to work. We understand that y'all living together, the baby daddy, baby mama, are y'all married? We understand he has to pull a double. She has to go to work. Those children are raising themselves.
Right.
Because when we were coming up, we could rely on an aunt. We can rely on an uncle. We can rely on an older cousin. We can rely on the person up the street that was 4 or 5 years older than us to watch the house and make sure everything's straight. We live in a selfish society right now.
True.
They don't want to do shit for nobody but themselves now. If you go and ask Tina up the road that come to your house, eat, hang out, sleep, you ask her, hey, I got to go to you in Louisiana. I got to go to Texas next weekend to take care of some funeral arrangements for my aunt. And I need you to stay here Friday and Saturday. I'll be back Sunday. She ain't got time to do that because she doing her, oh man, I'm going to a trail ride. I got a party I'm going to Saturday. If you would have had this last week, next week, I would have been able to do it. It's a selfish society. Back in the Gap, it wasn't none of that. Because they was like, I sleep over there, I eat over there. She want me to come here. It's a party going on, but I got to go over here because I'm loyal to these people.
The loyalty, yeah.
It's no loyalty.
So I'll make sure I have
no loyalty. So it's not the same. And so that puts the strain back on that parent. I won my son in court. And I was at the height of me branching into the industry the way I wanted to be in the industry. Young Jock was just coming out. His music wasn't on the radio yet. Them Laffy Taffy boys, they music wasn't on the radio yet. And I'm in the midst, Young Jeezy and all them. I was from Virginia to Louisiana to Atlanta, in the midst, bumping elbows with all these upcoming stars, which I was supposed to be in that midst with the TIs and all them. I was supposed to be somewhere in that midst, either rapping, scratching, doing whatever I do behind the scenes, like big time Greg Street is what I was supposed to have been. But I won my son in court. And the babysitters got tired of me flying to Virginia, flying to Atlanta every other weekend. And they were like, hell, they didn't care about the pay. They wanted to party.
Right.
And so they was like, because the babysitters I had was 21, 20, 22. And they was like, man, hey, I ain't going to be able to do it this week. So when they started canceling out on me, reality had to sit in. So I sat down one day mad as hell. Because I just was hanging out with everybody. I'm talking about it's gone. And I was sitting there mad because it was a big weekend coming up. I'm talking about where all the stars gonna be there. I was gonna bump elbows. I had my business cards. I had my CDs. I had my DVDs. This is what I do. I had people, Professor Griff, everybody was endorsing me. And they had a guy named Hustle Simmons was out here doing his thing. And I missed that weekend. And man, I'm sitting up in there. I was down there like I was a child. I had the frog in my throat as I watched the clock. Man, it's over. Ain't no way, ain't nobody coming. I'm stuck here. So then I made my mind up. That child didn't ask to be here. That child is here because of you. You went to court. You fought to win this child. And now you mad because you can't go run the street as if you're childless. And this is a man. And be honest with you, the way the city was beating me down, I didn't think I was gonna win him in court because they say it ain't no way that court. I'm talking about I had women, old women. I'm talking about 60 years old at that time. And this was 20 years ago. Now this was about 15 years ago. They was telling me it ain't no way they gonna reward you no child. Take that child from his mother. You know, they would tell me that. So I really didn't think I was gonna win no way. But I just knew I had me a good legal team, you know, and I was prepared to, you know, to go to court and win. And when they rewarded me full custody, you know, I was like, okay, it was cool.
Right.
And he had autism. So he sound was a thing he couldn't deal with. And I'm a DJ. You feel what I'm saying? So when the babysitter stopped, he had to go everywhere I went. So he would try to match the decibels of the music he's hearing by yelling while I'm DJing. That wasn't getting it because I'm DJing for grown people and you in the back, you know, and all that trying to match the decibels and rocking, you know, and I'm like, man, this ain't getting it because I can't do what I do. I can't make my money. I can't travel and be with the up and coming stars and be part of that lean with it, rock with it, craze. Young Johnson going down.
Where they can put the headphones on them?
That's what I had to do. I ended up going to a ear, nose, and throat doctor, and they prescribed some highly expensive noise canceling professional headphones. Big old, they covered the whole ear. And he, like I said, he was like 8, 9 at the time. So he had these big old muffs, ear muffs over his ears. And they said, try that. So I would keep him behind me with the DJ booth, this DJ set with his toys.
Right.
And I, you know, DJ, and it worked. And then I eventually slowly would move them. They had them where you can move them so close back to the ear so he can, and then he eventually got used to the sound and everything worked. But hell, that took like 3 months.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I was very active at that time. I'm talking about I'm DJing every weekend. And I have to have him with me because people didn't want to keep him no more. Yeah. And so at some point, I'm saying that to say, we as parents, we may have to do without.
Yeah.
But if it can help save my child, if it can help make my child happy, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Because that child didn't ask to be here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I missed out on the TIs and the Laffy Taffy Boys and the Lean With It, Rock With It and all that. And people in the city knew that I was moving and shaking with these people. You know, I was bringing Young Jock in the town. This before It's Going Down even blew up. I had all this stuff. I still got the CD now that he sent me where he pressed the sticker on the thing. And I ran into him maybe 3 years ago and we chopped it up. So you know, he remembered, you know, everything. But it's like I gave up my career per se to raise my child.
Yeah.
And I've been blessed though ever since.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anything I think I need is gonna get delivered.
Done.
Majority of my wants, they get delivered. So when these children
what would have
here,
happened if you had not, he might have been one of these shooters.
He wouldn't have been, you know, and then I ain't no telling what I'll be doing. I'll probably be homeless, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, dead. You know, you just know. And I feel like a lot of my blessings that I get, that I'm getting, comes because I stopped. He know, the Creator know, I stopped everything to raise my son. You get what I'm saying? So I'm saying that to say, when you have children, it's not about you no more.
Right.
The parents need to realize it's not about you no more. That child didn't ask to be here. And so we have to make that decision to live for that child now, because that child didn't ask to be here and it's here. I had to learn that. I learned that the hard way. I'm talking about I was angry, about to punch holes in walls because I had a very, very bad temper. And I used to, you know, I was out there, and it took my mom to calm me down. I put my hands on somebody, she heard about it, and she said, people have guns now. She said, you have a child.
Yeah.
She said, one day you're gonna put your hands on somebody, they're gonna pick up something and knock you out or drop you, and you're not gonna get up. She said, and then what your son gonna do then? And so when she put that in my head, I remember like it was yesterday. It was about 6 something that evening, the sun was going down. And she called me to come to the house. And my family is one of those families where no news is good news. So if everything going good, we don't hear nothing. If you get a phone call, you like, okay, what did happen? Who done died?
Right.
What's going on?
Right. Right.
So when I kept getting a phone call, because I didn't pick up the first maybe 2 times they called. And I was, let me go and run over here. I ain't even pick up. I just went. I was like, okay. Then she said, yeah, I heard about you fighting, blah, blah, blah. And then she told me that spiel. And so I started thinking at that time, and this was like 90, had been like 97, 98. And she gave me that speech. And that's when I slowly started seeing things a little different, that it wasn't about me no more.
Yeah.
Because, you know, me, I'm going to do this, do that. And then that's when that think first started coming in. Tommaso was telling me about the think first, do it right. And it's like the creator was putting all these people in my head at that time to steer me in a better direction because I was out there. I had the guns, I had the dope, and you know, I was the man. I wasn't going to take disrespect from nobody. So if somebody halfway disrespect, I'll put my hands on. But it wasn't about that, because that's when the beginning of the guns started. The gunplay started coming in. But it was the grown cats with the guns. It wasn't the kids at the time. And then you knew in the neighborhood who had the guns. You knew in the city who had a gun. You knew who you could scrap with, and you knew who was going to shoot. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of the cats back then, like I say, when they get 55 and 60, man, I ain't gonna fight you. I got something for you. I don't fight no more. You know, I ain't fighting no more. So I'd be like, come on out here and do this and that. No, I ain't fighting no more. You know, so that's how they were then. It was the older cats with the guns. Now we got the guns with the teens, and it's just hard for me to catch that in that city that was so slow. You get what I'm saying? That's why it's so devastating.
Yeah, I can get that. Yeah, because
because you, like I say, you've been in New Orleans. Y'all been fast.
We've been fast forever. Right?
Oakland been fast forever.
Right.
Louisiana, Bastrop, it's like north of everything, right under Arkansas. Like I showed you the video.
Yeah.
Right up under Arkansas. Like I say, they had the booming mill, they had a jean factory, and the ones who wasn't at the mill that was there at the jean factory, they worked in Georgia Pacific, which was right next to that was in Arkansas, and cross it. And that's like a 20-minute, maybe 30-minute trip. And everybody was paid. City was flowing. You know, everything was good. Crime wasn't nowhere.
Went to shit when there was no more employment. When
they shut that little jean factory down where 80% of the women worked, the black women worked.
Yeah.
It was a big jean factory. I'm talking, they called it Jordache, but they made some of everything at that factory. And when they would switch shifts, and you know, we was in high school, man, we couldn't wait till they switch shifts and we see all them damn women on that parking lot. I'm talking about 200-300 women coming out that place like ants. That's just how popular, you know, and everybody was just booming. The women were working. The men was at the mill doubling. It was a smooth company. It was, a smooth community. You barely seen poverty. Everybody was doing good.
Yeah.
And to see, okay, the jean factory left. They kept trying to come away. Then they brought a chicken farm. Then but the chicken farm went in Bastrop, it was like 20 miles or some away in another town, Farmerville, over another town. But they still kind of had work, but it took those people who was at home in Bastrop
Right.
away from their
Away
family
from
because
their
they got to drive and deal with the
Right, they
chicken
don't do that.
thing that was 20, 30 miles away from the
Mhm.
hometown. Meaning, if Sharon's daughter at home sneaking a boy in the house, and Minnie called Sharon and told Sharon on the job, "Hey,
Mhm.
your daughter,
You're born in the house.
I seen a boy outside y'all house."
Right.
She could leave work and tell her supervisor, "I'll be right back."
Right back.
Take off,
Let me go handle
go over
business
there,
right
beat
quick.
her
I'll be right
daughter's ass, make her sit out there in the car with her, bring home a job, make her sit in the damn break room. You know what I'm saying? That got
Right.
took.
Right.
So now these little girls started raising themselves. And guess what? Our teen pregnancy rate
Right.
shot up the
Skyrocket.
roof. So I seen what happened. You know what I'm saying? I understand what happened on that. Then when they shut the mill down, people actually left town because they was like, that's when the decrease in the population was when they shut the mill down. Because the
Right.
men was like, we don't have nothing to do.
Yeah.
I got a car we just bought. We got this house. We already paying on a car already. I just got this other car, and now they finna shut us down and give us severance pay.
Mhm.
They was used to a certain type of lifestyle.
Yeah.
So a lot of them migrated to North Carolina to another mill,
Mhm.
South Carolina to another Georgia Pacific. You get what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So, and then Monroe started getting hit when they took away the guide plant, which was making GM products.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like everything around that city. So when you say it's nothing to do and they're angry now compared to what it was in the 80s and 90s,
Mhm.
I'm seeing now what you're saying, because I'm like, what would make a child or a 20-year-old go and just shoot? Well, hell, they miserable. What if that child don't?
Miserable.
What if that child want Jordans and he can't get them? What if that child want a PS5? Now that you shared the light, I'm seeing things. What if he wants the PS5 and his parents
Ain't
can't
no
afford
money.
it because there's no jobs?
Right. You know, and
So
what am I
he's
working?
angry.
What am I working toward? Like, ain't no place to work. So I'm just out in these streets trying to get whatever I could get. You know what I'm saying? And you know, because I'm sure, you know, if you wasn't DJing, you know, you was growing up to work at the mill. You know, you knew that was gonna be good money. Your people was working there, they was making the money. So guess what? I'm gonna get in there. You know, I'm gonna get in there and I'm gonna make some money too. So we're gonna
Yeah.
all be prosperous around here. But
I mean, the money was so good. I was in college, and you know, they let you do an internship. You get to work there in the summertime when you're not in college. And I started making that money, man. I was like, shit, I don't even want to go back to school. And a lot of people actually dropped out of school.
I can imagine.
And started working there.
School
They was like,
school
you know, we making it back then. You talking like 90, 91, 92, and you getting $12, 10, 12, and $15 an hour.
Back
you know
then,
what I'm saying? They was like, this what we going to school for, to make some money. Hell, I'm making money here. So that you would try to get on. And then if you work good, a lot of them, the higher ups will go ahead and hire you on there, and now you working. My only thing is I hated graveyard. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do the graveyard. You know, that ain't that overnight shit wasn't me. I can party to 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, but I can't work till 7 in the morning. I can't do it. That's not in my DNA. And I tried. And boy, I was the laughing stock of the mill, because they was like, they'd catch me sleep behind them big ass paper rolls. I was like hiding behind them brown paper rolls, snoring. I'm knocked out. I tried drinking coffee because that's what all them old men were doing in there. Man, that coffee tore my stomach up. I put so much cream in that doggone stuff, it messed my stomach up, man. I was like, man, this is not for me. But yeah, so I'm thinking, number one though, the root, we need to get respect back in the homes.
But how do you do that? How do you get respect back in a home?
The only way is with your young ones. It ain't nothing you can do when they 13 years old. You done lost that. When they 12 and 13,
I think you can reel that back in with the right. But like you said, if mama is not present, then it's hard to respect mama. Like a lot of it is kids today also don't have an appreciation for what they do have, right? You know, my mama worked all the time too. you know. And when she stopped working, she got so depressed, she still wasn't present. She started using drugs, and you know, and so I was the primary person taking care of the household and all
Wow.
that, you know. I still love my mama. I still respected my mama because she was my damn mama, you know, and all that. And so, you know, there still has to be a level of respect, you know. And so I say, stop being friends with your kids, be a parent. And you can be friendly, but you're not there. I tell my kids that all the time. I'm friendly with you, but I'm not your friend. When you can take care of yourself outside of my house, then we can maybe be friends. But I can't be friends with you while I'm, you know, feeding you and taking care of your stuff, right? And stuff. And so relationships have to be rebuilt, you know, in a proper way. But it's hard. Again, you know, I'm gonna bring it all the way back to mental health all the time, is that you can't properly raise a kid if you jacked up. You can't. I mean, that was my mom. My mom was jacked up. She had trauma, you know, and so it was hard for her to. My mama did try to be my friend, you know, because her mama didn't talk to her. You know, she didn't have that relationship with her mother. So she wanted that type of relationship with me, but didn't know how to balance that between parenthood and friendliness, right? So she tried to be my friend. And then I'm like, you know, you can't be my friend and be my mom at the same time, because that's confusing for me as a child. You know, I'm thinking we cool. I could pretty much do like I want to do because we friends, right? You know, and then all of a sudden, no, you can't. And I'm telling you what to do. Like, whoa. Thought we was cool, you know? And so there has to be a balance there or whatever. Had my mom had the access to get the help that she needed for her mental health, she could have learned how to balance it. She could have processed the stuff that happened to her. She could have processed the stuff that happened between her and her mama, you know, and stuff like that. And she could be a healthier parent. It is hard to parent a child when you're depressed and you got anxiety, or, you know, you got bipolar disorder, and, you know, and all that kind. And you're still trying to work, and you're still trying to take care of what you need to take care of. And all that, which, yeah, is why we end up with so many parents on drugs. It is hard. Y'all know adulting is hard, period. Raising kids is even harder.
What about the parents that smoke weed with their kids at 16, 15, 16?
My mama gave me my first weed too. So, but I don't,
you know what I'm saying?
Like,
but I'm thinking, like, especially with the boys,
yeah,
they start losing respect for that parent because they feel like that parent is on their level. And God forbid if you know they selling drugs and you use their drug money to help pay bills. So it's like all of that contributes to the disrespect. Because as a teen, if the first time that boy has to go out back in the Gap, mow the yards, and take his money and help put food on the table.
Right, exactly.
His chest was poked out and he felt some type of way. So now you can't say get your ass in there and wash dishes. Right. You can't say turn that goddamn TV off.
Because that's how we train our kids too. You don't pay no bills, but the moment I start paying something, then I need that same level of whatever, right? You know, I mean,
and the younger the generation today.
My disrespect moment with me and my mama was when I reached her height. You know, because my mom was 4'11". I was 12 years old. I got to be 4'11". I'm like, I must be grown because I'm her height, right? You know, and it wasn't no blatant, outright, you know, saying nothing crazy to her. She said something I ain't like. I stomped off and rolled my eyes and sucked my teeth and tried to slam my door. But she was behind me 2 seconds later, had me jacked up against the wall like I am the parent. Don't play with me, right? I didn't play with my mama no more after that. She set the record straight, right? I don't care how tall you are, you know, you don't play with me like that, right? And so that's that level of, you know, it's a respect. It really is a respect level. It is a reverence, right? I had to be able to appreciate, even though my mama wasn't in the house, she was out working all the time, right? But she was doing the best that she could. She was taking care of us, right? Because you could be out in the street, you could be in CPS care, you know, you could not be being taken care of.
So you were more thankful. You learned to be thankful for what you had.
Appreciative way early in the game, no matter how tough it was for me as the oldest kid, you know. And then when my mama lost the job, that because she was moving up the ladder where she was, you know, and she got up to a point where this white man decided he didn't want her there no more. And so they set her up to get fired. My mama went into the toilet after that because she was totally depressed. And so we was living in Shreveport for most of my youngest childhood. and then we moved to Victoria, Texas for that job and all that. When we moved back to New Orleans, my mama wasn't able to get a job after that, and so it became poverty for us, complete poverty, and stuff. And that was hard, right? And it was hard on her. And then she started using with my uncle, but that's how she was coping. That's how she was coping. I can't say it was so horrible that we never had food. And, we had moments where we didn't have much, and stuff. There were moments we had to live with other people. It was rough. You know what I'm saying? I still had an appreciation for the fact that I did have a roof over my head. If we had to live with my uncle or my auntie or whatever we needed to do, she did make sure that we was taken care of, even in the state that she was in. There was a pure appreciation for my mother and what she did do, right? And I just don't think all the kids have that.
Yeah, that's what's missing, right, today.
They don't have like that gratitude that nigga, you could be on the street, you could not eat, and stuff like that. I mean, I told this little one in here, my best friend's son, he's 7 years old. I pull out the leftovers. He's like, but I don't want that. I said, some kids don't get to eat it all. I need to put reality into you. Like, I know this might not be exactly what you want, but we're not going to waste leftovers, right? And you don't get to have everything you want whenever you want it. And even as an adult, I don't get to do that.
I was about that age when, and so it feels good that I wasn't the only one like that, because I felt bad for a minute. One time, Big Mom had went to, I guess, a rummage sale is what they used to call them back in the day. Mm-hmm. And we was at the house, and Mom said, hey, we finna go over to Big Mama house. She got some clothes for y'all. So I'm excited, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get some clothes.
Right.
So when I get over there, she comes out with this bag and she pulling out all these old clothes, man. That's for Wayne, that's for you, that's for this. She put all these old jeans and shirts on the bed. Yeah, I'm looking at her like, I say, somebody done wore them before, you know what I'm saying? And so, boy, her daughters, my aunt, if they got on me, boy, they got on me hard. But I'll never forget it because I didn't know, I wasn't used to that. You know what I'm saying? I was the baby of the family at the time. And so they prayed, I was kind of praised or whatever. So that anything I needed or wanted, they made sure I had, you know what I'm saying? Everybody would chip in. Right. And so when I seen these old clothes that Big Boy had bought, I'm like, I'm not wearing that. There's somebody else that wore them before, but I was 8, 9 years old. And then when they got on me, I learned, and then I got my older brother. Actually, the oldest, he took me somewhere over some of his people's house. They had cooked for us because he was moving from Louisiana to like Bentonville, Arkansas. I got a big deal accounting for the Walmart Sam's thing, but it was Sam's went out there. It was Walmart Corporation. And so they were moving. So as appreciation to him, his best friend cooked for the whole, for all of us. And he decided to take me down there with him. And so they say, you want something to eat? I say, what y'all having? And when I tell you, he hit me in my chest and told me about appreciating when somebody offers something, just accept it. Right. You know what I'm saying? You don't ask them what they having, because I didn't want to waste their food. And then, like I say, then again, I'm 8, 9, I'm 10 years old. Right. So I figured I didn't want to waste their food. So if you serving something I don't want, but his thing was, we not cooking and you with me, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna have them to fix something that I know you don't eat, but I wasn't thinking on those lines. Like I just replied, what we having? And then he hit me and all that. And I'm looking at him like, and I think I kind of resent him to this day because of that. And that was when I was 10 years old. But but I learned, like you said, to just be appreciative. But it took me to like probably around 10 years old when I learned what being appreciative of the little things work. Right. And that's the main thing that I feel like is missing. That's the root. Is no respect in the homes. They don't appreciate. They're not teaching them the children to be appreciative. And when you don't teach that, like I say, instill it in them at a young age, it's hard to put that in a 13, 14, 16-year-old because that person is pretty much who they are.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And I had to learn.
It's hard. It's hard.
It's hard. And so if they would put that fear in the parent, you know, the parent put the fear in the child, where the child respects and fear, because like they say, they have a choice of whether you want to be feared or respected. I'd rather be feared, because with fear comes respect. So my children, all of them.
Which is why I use the word reverence, because reverence is a healthy fear. You know, it's a healthy fear that the underlying of that is respect. I'm not going to play with you because I respect you.
Right. We have fun now.
My 22-year-old, when I just got married, she say that all the time. She's like, I'm like, girl, I'll fight you. She said, I'm going to fall on the floor and ball in the fetal position because I ain't never going to hit my mom. You know, just healthy respect, healthy fear, right? You know, and so, you know.
So that's what, with me, we have fun. I'm the fun parent. I jump around here, I sing with them, I dance, I do the TikToks and all that with them, and you know, I do all that. But and we have fun.
Right.
But
it doesn't mean you can't have
when
fun.
it's time to clean up, I'm not gonna take you. Me gotta call you 3 and 4 times, because when my mom and them, I don't give a damn. I was jumping up in the air. I'm going up, and they called me. I stopped in the air, came down, and ran to see what they want. Mine, especially like the daughter, she acts like a boy. She acts like a lazy boy. You know, because girls were known. You guys cleaned up behind the boy. Right. You know what I'm saying? We were slouchy. We was, you know, my sister mad to this day at mom because I had to clean up behind them, change their diapers, you know, and she so-called went into a little mental thing where now she just hate her mom and trying to make it look like it was the worst childhood ever, you know, but she felt like with her raising us, so helping raise us, ironing the clothes, washing the dishes, cleaning the house, it messed with her. You get what I'm saying? So she real messed up in the head right now. And relationship. But you guys were the ones that's known to making sure the house was clean. You know what I'm saying? Whether you was the middle child, the oldest girl, girls were clean. And so it's like when you have to instill that in your daughter to clean up, that was something I wasn't used to, because the girls automatically came out of the womb cleaning up. You get what I'm saying? Y'all was cleaning up.
But again, that's another thing that's changed too, because then there were gender roles, right? And stuff like that. I happen to have a whole bunch of girls, even my adopted kids are girls, right? And stuff. But that also meant girls was putting out the trash, you know, because we got to distribute the labor and all that. But I'm also a parent of equal labor. Like, everybody need to be doing something, right? You know, the 7-year-old little boy in here cleans up just like the girls clean up, you know, because I also don't want no boy out here, you know, and I just saw that on somebody's TikTok too, about, you know, don't teach your boys not to clean up, not to cook, not to take care of themselves or whatever, because then they grow up and look for somebody to be their mama. You know, you should be able as a man to take care of yourself. You know, and a man that takes care of himself, a woman gonna want to help take care of it. Well, you like to cook, don't worry about that. I got this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, but we
know what, Janelle?
Like, it's our duty, you know, to do that or whatever. I want to do it, you know, and stuff like that. But that again, that's in how you're raised. If you're raised so that, you know, well, boys don't do that, girls do that, you know,
right? Then
that's a skewed vision of things. You know what I'm saying?
But now we all, you know how we grew up, we all had a night in the kitchen. So you're going to know how to clean the kitchen. You had to clean your own room. And yeah, we did. The boys did take out the trash. But I also learned how to cook when I was like 4 or 5, maybe 5, 6 years old. You remember back in the Gap, they used to have the Quaker oatmeal. And on the back of it, it showed you how to make oatmeal cookies. So I used to be in the kitchen.
You was baking cookies?
I used to be in the kitchen cooking cookies at 5, 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? So following with my little measuring cup, you know, and I was also in the 4-H and all that crap. So I knew how to cook. So
Forgot about
when I
Fred.
started living on my own, I'll never forget this lady looked at me crazy because I was on the phone. I was on my cell phone.
Mm.
And I was talking to a friend guy of mine, and I said, I don't need no woman for nothing. You know what I'm saying? You know, I say she was an older lady. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I say I can cook, I can clean. You know what I'm saying? I say I can do everything myself. And I say, and then I'm long enough where if I just want to do that, I ain't even got to take out no rib. I can just bend over and satisfy myself. You know. And she looked back at me, boy. And to this day, if she's still living, she hated my guts because I said I ain't need no woman for nothing. I said I don't know how to wash clothes, I cook, and I can satisfy myself. It just came down to it. I don't need no woman for shit.
Oh my God.
And boy, that lady lost her mind. She looked at me, man. I keep seeing that evil look that she gave me, man. But I was just showing how independent. What'd you say?
She didn't tell you nothing. She just looked at you.
Her face said a million words. She didn't have to say nothing because I didn't know she was. But I was behind her and I wasn't paying no attention. I'm just talking. You know how we do. I'm talking loud. Man, I don't need no woman for nothing. I cook, I clean, and I ain't even got to remove no rib. I'm so all I gotta do is just bend over and just. And then I'm doing that. And she looked at me, and I looked up and seen her looking at me. I was like, damn, And then coming from a respectful community where you popular, and so that was kind of hell. And that's another thing too. Respect amongst elders.
Yes.
They don't have that. It's like, sir, like when me and this girl was I posted a picture, that it went viral. But that picture where the girl, the lady was wearing them two little clothes at Kroger and everybody was looking at her crazy. And somebody was arguing up under there trying to justify that. I was like, I don't even like wearing, like I got merch that I have that I designed myself, and it'll have like the FU finger and the fuck you finger with FU or something on it. If I'm going in Walmart, especially in small Bastrop, I take that shirt off because I may run into Sister Haynes. I might run into Reverend, Reverend Joe. So it's like, I don't represent that because at the end of the day, I'm still representing my family, my people from there. So it's certain things I just don't do because, like you say, anybody who's older than you, that respect, because you was taught respect. They do not teach that respect. They rather just say if you 30, you auntie, you 30 and you're a male, you unc. It's like, and then they do what they want. Like one time I was with this guy and he just he was in his 20, 23, 25, and he just figured it was okay to snort cocaine in front of me. I was looking at him like, nah, I don't do that. And I had him in my car. We riding, and then we stopped. He said, I'm at the red light. He said, yeah, man, let me go and, do this and that. And then he takes the stuff out, and I said, hold on, what you doing? He said, man, no, I'm just. I said, man, no, we don't do that. Because if I got pulled over, I'm the owner of the car. He could have just threw it on the floor. That's mine.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? But I could have did a drug test, but still, that still would have been on my record.
It's the principality.
It's the principle. Yeah, you have to live by principle. So it's just it's no respect. They don't respect the elders. They don't respect the parents. And then they wonder why we don't step up to be mentors no more. Y'all men need to come together. They're gonna put that on there. Men need to men ain't being men. Y'all need to come together and help with these kids. No, you had them kids. You let them kids run over you. You playing with them. You smoking with them. You partying with them. So and you can't do nothing with them. And now you want some of us to come in here.
How much responsibility do we put on the male that's not in the house?
Thank
you. Because the mama that's there, she have her part to play, right? And all that. But if daddy isn't present, then just like the young man that you helped, right? Then that has the part to play too, because his absence in itself is causing some things, right?
Right.
And so there has to be some responsibility placed on the male that's not present or barely present, or so both parents. So we can't just leave it on mama, or vice versa, because we ain't gonna leave our dads, that single dads, taking care of kids too, right?
Yeah.
Because they got them out
But
there
they
too.
want
Mama
outsiders
not
to come
present,
in
you
and
know.
help you take care of your children when your children don't respect you. That's what's getting
Right.
me.
And that can't happen. It cannot happen, because your kids have to respect you in order to respect other people.
Yeah.
Right. And just like we talked about that before, about how there's not an adult that is in my child's presence that, again, if I call my elders miss, you're gonna call your elders miss. My daughter had a mentor when we were in Georgia, from the church, and nice white lady, and she used to call her by her first name, but when she was present in front of me, she still had to say miss, because the lady was like, "You don't have to." She was like, "See, let me explain something to you about my black mama."
Right.
When my mama is present, I'm gonna call you Miss So and So, because my mama don't play that.
Yeah, you
And
you taught that
so your
respect,
respect
and
level.
you taught that the respect. So that's why I say we need to stop, like the guy said, stop being friends with these children
Mm-hmm.
and teach them respect within the home. That's the root. That's if they start with respect in the home, I feel like in the future generation, there would be less uh, killings from the youth killing each other, because they'll respect each
Right.
other and they'll respect life.
And
They're
I
not
posted
teaching that.
something
The
today.
mama busy working.
I posted something today on my story on Facebook, and it's rules and regulations without relationship equals rebellion, and what else is it? Rebellion and something else. I forgot what else I put on that. But the idea that you can just spout out the rules and say, okay, you gonna respect me, is not efficient. You know what I'm saying? So you have to, one, present yourself as worthy of respect and show them what they're respecting, right? My kids respect me because of who I am as a parent and how I parent, and the fact that I do respect them as human beings, right? That you can't tell me what to. You have an opinion, but you can't tell me what to do. But you do have an opinion, right? And so, and I think that gets put up in the cross too, because again, you're trying to be friendly, but you're crossing the line of friendship. You have to have some sort of relationship with your kids. It just shouldn't be at that level of we on the same level, right? I should be able to talk to my kids in their lingo as much as I can, and stuff like that. They should be able to come to me and talk about whatever they need to talk about and tell me the things, right? And all that. And I should be able to listen without judgment, without, putting them down, without telling them what to do, because that's another thing that I do with my children, is raise them in such a way that my goal is to raise you to be a productive adult, right? So if I'm always just telling you what to do, that's just teaching you how to follow directions and follow instructions. That's it, right? You're not doing any critical thinking. You're not figuring things out for yourself. You're not learning from natural consequences, which is my favorite kind of consequence. I don't have to beat your ass. Whatever you decide that you want to do, you do it, but the natural consequence go beat your ass. That's going to be better than anything I can never teach you, right? Because that's how life is. When you're an adult, ain't nobody going to be out there beating your ass because you make a mistake. You're going to learn from that mistake the real life consequence. You don't pay your light bill, your light's going to be off. Boom.
What age did you stop discipline, whipping ass, as you said?
I have barely whipped my kids at all. Like the last time I did whip now me and my baby girl got into a couple of actual fights, and I ain't never think that was gonna go down. But but again, it comes down to her being spoiled, like her daddy spoiled her, right? And so when we got divorced, she's with me. She's mad at me because I divorced her daddy, and I'm just going through regular kid stuff or
Right.
whatever. COVID happened. That baby got anxiety off the wazoo, super depressed and all that, and not being able to handle her emotions or whatever, and stuff like that. Wouldn't take her medicine, just all of the things, right? So I wound up sending her to her daddy. I'm like, hey, this is your product. Go on and take care of it, But again, there was a sense of entitlement. There was a sense of, somebody owe me something,
Yeah.
Since she was little, he would take her wherever she want, like, he he used to take her out of preschool and bring her to Pizza Hut. And I'm like, you know, we pay for preschool, right?
The baby girl, that stuff I do. But yeah, so that's not. I'm learning from listening to you that ain't 100% healthy.
Yeah, I respect like the relationship, but you're also not teaching her how to become a well-rounded adult, right? And so when times would get hard, she still had some entitlement. She still was like, she still was worried about, you know, what her friends had versus what she had, and this and that. I was like, you know, and I'm getting pissed because I'm like, girl, I grew up with practically nothing. I was sharing a room with my brother and my sister, you know, and so appreciation. You need to appreciate that what you have, right? Because we don't have to have it. I work very hard for you not to live like I used to live, right? And so there has to be some sort of appreciation for it. But going to live with her dad and all that helped her to have that appreciation, right? Because she was able to experience New Orleans in its poverty state, right? Her grandfather don't get a whole bunch of groceries. Like, he get groceries as he need them. So their refrigerator be empty, right? You know, and stuff like that, you know. They live right next to Lake Pontchartrain. So, you know, them big old water bugs be everywhere.
Right.
You know, and all that, you know, and you know, and so she had to live in a space in a place where she learned to have some appreciation for what mama is providing, you know, and stuff. And I'm like, no shade on your dad, but he lives in a state that I don't want to live in, right? He lives in a place in a condition that I don't care to live in. And so I bust my behind to make sure we don't live in that particular kind of state, right? And all that, you know. And he's doing a lot better now, you know, and stuff like that. But like, you know, I needed her to see that. I needed her to appreciate that. And she came back better, you know, and she recognized.
You about like me. I don't do the discipline like that until I just have to.
Until you have to.
I'm more laid back. Whereas the mom, she can't wait to get them. She can't wait to take their things from them and get them. If you don't get them, I'm gonna do this. I'm like, what did he do?
Removing the things, yeah. Like, like you said, whatever your currency is, I'm taking it. Oh, you love that cell phone? You love that cell phone?
Yeah, she quick to do that. But I sit back.
Stuff like, this is the best discipline I ever seen on the internet. This lady said, "Don't take the device, take the charger, and watch them in horror. Watch their battery go down." I was like, that is an evil genius mother right there. Right?
Yeah, and then the one said, cut the internet out.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. I saw one lady that made them kids earn the internet code every day. You know, when you take care of your things, then you can have the internet password for the day.
Yeah, she just changed it.
Stop. Mine used to, you know, I'm not giving you my phone. Okay, cool. But I pay the bill. All I gotta do is it's in my name. All I gotta do is cut it off. You suspend it. You can't use it now. And here go, and I'm changing the password to the internet. So now what you do? I have all the cards, right? And teaching them that, like, don't bite the hand that feeds you. I literally feed you. You know, I literally take care of the things. So there needs to be a level of respect for the people who take care of the things. I ain't say you got to treat me like a goddess, not by far, but respect the fact that I'm your mama and I'm taking care of you. Because they got kids out there that mama is not taking care of them. They got kids out here that don't have their mama, you know. And so there needs to be an appreciation. And I think my daughter gained an appreciation too, because she had friends around her it was not like a mom, you know, like she can come to me and talk about anything, you know, and stuff. And her friends, whether it be her sexuality, whether it be, you know, her gender identification, whether it be, you know, sex, whatever it is, all my babies can come and talk to me about it, right? And we can have a real conversation and all that. But her friends' parents were not doing that. You know, they couldn't go and talk to their parents. And so they gained an appreciation, right? For like, well, you are different. You are different than everybody else's mama. You know, and felt bad about it for a minute. But just recently, my daughter was like, I decided I'm not going to feel bad for having a good mom. I was like, and you don't have to. I worked really hard to be the woman that I am, because I was in pain and hurting too. But I did my therapy and I did my work and I learned from my mistakes, and, you know, and I grew, you know, and I'm not by far a perfect mother at all. I made all of the mistakes, right? And all that, but I was willing to correct those mistakes. I was willing to receive feedback, right? Because that's another issue that we have here that we talking about with the parenting and respect and all that kind of stuff. If I come to you, whether it be as a professional or as a friend, and say, baby, that don't make sense for you to beat that boy like that, you can talk to him. You know, if I come to you and say, hey, I don't think that's effective, you know, and all that, you can't be like, you can't tell me nothing about again, that's the village, right? You know, if I'm gonna come and say to you, hey, you don't have to do it like this. Maybe try this. Here's another method, but you want to stick with the method that's not working over and over and over again, but you want a different result, right? Now your kid out in the street killing somebody, right? But you didn't listen when somebody said to you, hey, that ain't the proper way to do that. You can't beat that boy into submission. You can't beat that boy to death, you know, and think he gonna respect you for that or whatever, you know. Or that boy's angry because his daddy ain't there, you know. Has he talked to his daddy? Did he write his dad? Did you try to make a connection with that? You know, figure out what the root of the problem is and try to fix that. Let's get him some mental health help. Maybe he needs somebody to talk to. You know, hey, when last time you talked to somebody? You know, because that's all that, it's all that anger and fear and guilt and shame and, you know, all that heaviness that's going on inside of everybody that's preventing them from receiving the help they need and helping their kids to get better. So now we got shooters.
That's deep. And the way that was flowing, some of that was you, but see, like some of that was coming from the creator to pass out.
You felt
it was
huh?
flowing. Yeah, I felt that.
Happens all the time.
Yeah, I saw that. It's so I didn't, like I said, I didn't see it the way you brought it out, because I'm more like the sacrifices I made, the sacrifices my parents made with me, but these days is much, much, much more different than that.
Deeper. It's so much deeper, you know. And then our mothers too, like women are tired. Like we're tired, you know, because that's a long time to try to remain a strong Black woman, right? It's a long time, generation after generation, have to carry, you know, the load of generations before you on your back, right? And stuff. And we've talked before about how women are sexually assaulted and women have to go through all these things that you've been molested or abused as a kid and all that. And so even earlier you said, you know, about, you know, it's all about the kid. It's really not all about the kid. Yeah, you're gonna make sacrifices. I don't believe in sacrificing everything for your kid.
No, not everything.
Like if I was in your situation,
you gotta have your sanity too.
I can't do this. I gotta take care of my kid, right? And stuff like that. You know, I took a long time to get out of undergrad school because I had a baby. So I had to slow that shit down and, you know, take 6 hours a semester rather than 12, you know, and stuff like that. I didn't go straight to grad school. I got a job. I worked and, you know, did things that I needed to do to make sure the kids were good and all that stuff, you know. But like, you know, we have to learn to take care of ourselves, because that's the other deal, is that we do not take care of ourselves, because we can't be our best parent or our best friend or our best whatever we need to be if we're not taking care of ourselves. That don't mean go to the club though. That don't mean sacrifice all and go like, fuck that baby, I'm going to the club. No. Right. Like, you breastfeed, that baby need that milk, you know, and stuff like that. That doesn't mean that. That means taking care of your mental, emotional self so that you can better care for your baby. That means you do have to stop being in the streets, because you're not taking care of yourself if you're being in the streets, right? That means instead of taking that money and going to the streets, go get a damn pedicure and treat yourself to something, you know, right, and stuff like that. That means change your trajectory and how you think of things and how you flow with the things. You got to fucking grow up. You got a baby now. You know, you can't still do the same shit you used to do before you had the baby, period. You know, that's one of the first things my mama told me when I got pregnant. She said, you know, all your birthday gifts now belong to the baby, right? You know, you don't get no more, you know, and stuff. And I remember for my first baby shower, my mother was intentional about giving me a gift. And I do the same thing now when I go to baby showers. Instead of giving all the gifts to the baby, I give the mother a gift, because I was like, this is the last one you're going to get, you know, and stuff like that, you know. Or I give a gift that's later, like, you know, everybody like 0 to 3, 3 to 6 months. I'm like, here's a year-old one, because by the time this baby a year old, all these people will be gone. You know, you're not going to see these folks. When your baby make a year old, you be looking for an outfit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And all that. So thinking outside of the norm.
Outside the box.
You know what I'm saying? And all that. So you do have to make the sacrifice, but you also have to take care of yourself, you know, and that really starts here and it starts in the heart. If you're broken, it's hard for you to take care of other people because you're not taken care of, and you wasn't taken care of, you know. And then add being black and being in poverty, and you add all those things to the recipe, and then you get shooters, you get violence, you get killers, because they have nothing to live for.
They just angry.
They just angry. They just pissed, and all that. So we can send mentors, we can, but like you said, I think some of the root of the stuff has to happen. Some jobs need to come back to that area. We got to, I don't know what power we have for that, but jobs need to come back to that area. We got to start rebuilding the village, which is why I go on platforms and I create my own platform to talk about those things. Like my Facebook groups are Cycle Breaker Villages, let's talk about the things that bother us so that we can start, being real about it. Because part of it is embarrassment too.
And see, that's what a lot of people not understanding when they hear my thing is the way we used to look up to the black woman, the black women, period. And how everybody praised the black woman, mother of civilization. They were saying this with the music from Isaac Hayes and all them.
Yes.
The mother of civilization. And to see them degrading themselves, you know what I'm saying, dressed in any kind of way, too little clothes. So we really not down in the women. It's just that we're trying to make them respect themselves. But they see that because you're saying something about their attire that you not respecting them, or you talking down on them when that's not the case.
Right. Yeah. And that's just a viewpoint, you know what I'm saying? And, part of it, I think also is because we're trying to find ourselves. So many of us are still trying to find ourselves and all that. And likely because something was stolen from us when we were younger. Right.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, we understand that, but what they need to, until we know that, because some of them just do it for the hell of it. But
I don't think any of it is for the hell of it.
For men, I don't think that men are just walking around bashing women and talking down. It's just that they want to see them stand up and be the true. That they not all men. Now you do have some, it's always gonna be some. I never
say all,
But they say, why you talking about us? But yet they can tell a man when he broke.
Right.
They can tell a man when he don't make enough money. They can tell a man when his car ain't good enough for them to ride in.
Right.
But if he say you didn't gain too much weight or you got too many children, he bashing the woman. And that's what I don't, what I'm saying? I don't understand. Our community is just so twisted right now. And like I said, that's a totally different topic, which we probably gonna jump back on subject. We're gonna jump back on subject next week. Okay. But I just wanted to take a pause to do a moment of silence to the ones that lost lives over the weekend in Bastrop. So when this guy, Fat Boy, I don't know if you met Fat Boy, but he was on here a couple of times, and he hit me up with the idea. He was like, man, let's talk about that. I want you to talk about that because it's getting out of hand. And so that's why I worded it the way I did, because he never thought he'd see this, that going on down there. It's just, but when you explained the psyche of what a child may be going through, and then I started seeing maybe he couldn't get what he want. He can't get what he want because the job's not there, the funds not there. He can't get the PS5, can't get the Jordans that everybody. And being that everything is on social media now, where you can see somebody's highlight, and that's messing with a lot of grown people too. So just imagine what it'll do to a child.
Bro, I've been in places in my life where I'm like, I'm just gonna turn it off because everybody's traveling and I can't do it.
You know what I'm saying? And Kevin Gates said a lot of unorthodox, off the wall, crazy, insane shit, especially now. But when he said he detached himself from social media because you seeing other people's highlight and that'll make you depressed because he suffers from depression.
Depression, yes.
He said he gets off social media. He don't care to see other people's highlights because that make him, he comparing their highlights to his
Yes,
reality.
it is. That's right.
And he said that makes him depressed, so he don't do the
Even
social
though
media.
you know in your heart of heart it is a highlight. Even though you know this ain't their whole life, this is a moment that because they're not posting their whole life, they posting the good parts. And you know that cognitively, but in your heart, you still like, but they traveling and I'm not. You know.
Yeah.
Them niggas went to Jamaica, them niggas went to Paris. I'm just sitting here. You know.
Yeah, especially a woman.
Yeah.
Because I got a partner and he was on here when we did my little crew. And he everywhere. You know, he lived by himself. And he may be in Paris today. You may see him in Rome tomorrow.
Right,
I mean, he got it in. He was over there. It looked fake. It was so beautiful. What is that? That across seas that they go to. I'm talking about the water was just so blue and beautiful. It had all kinds of monuments and things around. I have to figure out what it was, but it was so vivid and beautiful over there. And I'm thinking one of Nick Cannon's girls with baby mamas from over there, and she did a video. One of the last ones he had did a video when she was over there, but he was over there with them. And I'm proud of him because, like I say, he's single. He by himself, and he travels. He's living his life. Me, I got a house I just purchased. You know what I'm saying? I got children. I got, you know what I'm saying? So our highlights are gonna be different.
We're different, right?
But I salute it. You know what I'm saying? For what he's doing. So when I see him, I get excited that he's over there. And I text him, man, you doing your thing, blah, blah, blah. He'll see little highlights of the house. Man, hey, I'm gonna come down there and visit. We have that love for each other. But then you have those people who sit back and they'll hate on it.
Yeah.
That friend will hate on that. Or that friend will get depressed because I'll see him in San Tropez, and now I'm like, man, I ain't doing nothing but living down here in Atlanta. From Atlanta to Louisiana to Florida.
I remember having those moments in my life. And now I look at people traveling, I'm like, oh, bitch, I'm about to be there too. you know what I'm saying? I know that's my goal, right? And so that just motivates me to work toward my goal. And I'm proud of her, right? I'm excited for this person or that person because they're doing their thing, right? Because I know I'm doing my thing too. I'm on my way there too. You know?
Yeah. And then I can fly around the world at any given time. But I just don't. I got other stuff that I'm grounded to now. But when I get my moment, like you said, it's okay to work your fingers to the bone, as they say, and be there for the kids with every blue moon. I'm gonna have to take those trips and do what I want to do. Because you only live once.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
17. My baby's 17. She the age of consent. You know?
You know,
so my dad down the street. I could jump up and go right now. You know? And stuff like that.
I mean, any given day, I can book me a flight and fly all across the country.
Right.
But for free. And if I go out of the country, it's little or nothing.
Nice.
But I just be chilling. You know, but like you say, we have to live a little bit every now and then too. So that's in my near future. So you'll be seeing me doing a podcast over in New York somewhere. And, I'm gonna start moving around.
And you just let me know where we at. You know, wherever we at, we're gonna be.
You know what I'm saying? But once again, you made me see things, different. And that's what I tell people. When they want me to be this headstrong, what I say it is what it is. But no, when I'm on here and somebody say something that makes sense, I'll be like, okay, I didn't see it like that. You know what I'm saying? And this is one of the moments because my thing was the parent need to start back parenting, which some of them, they know if the shoe fit, they have to wear it.
Exactly.
But on the same note, once they're in the teens and they depressed, or they're seeing what the highlights of other people, like you say, the music, the everything, the videos, the movies that's out now. they have more things to influence them than what we ever had coming up.
Right.
And so
You
if we
know,
see one of them
anybody
imitate
out
what
there
he's
that's
seen on one of them,
if you ever felt hopeless, you know what I'm saying? Not having hope will kill you. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
When you feel hopeless, worthless, and helpless, that's where you get murder from. That's where you get suicide from. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing to lose. And I don't want people to be in that state of mind. You know what I'm saying?
and
You know,
and
which is
like
why
that same weekend,
also
it was-
why I keep my license in Louisiana too, because that's my people. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I will never let my license in Louisiana go. Because even though I don't live there, that's my people. Right. And so I need to continue because I know the state of my people. Right. And so I'm gonna continue to do things there and do programming in Louisiana and stuff like that because I want my people taken care of. And maybe that's what needs to happen in the area too. We're trying to get some mental health things happening in there. You know what I'm saying? But something different has to happen.
It has to. And like I say, it's when I saw that, and then like I said, it was a murder suicide that same weekend. A guy killed his wife and then killed himself. And I was like, that's a tough pill to swallow, and especially when you know the people, you know the mom, you know what I'm saying, you know the family. That was a tough pill to swallow. What would bring, and then you get the guys who, I guess call themselves players, or got multiple women, be like, what would make a man just kill another woman? And I was breaking it down like you don't know what he went through. You know what I'm saying? He snapped. You don't know whether he gave his last and sacrificed everything. They don't give him the right to do it.
No, it don't.
But you understand. He gave his last, then come to find out she messing with somebody broker than him.
Right.
Or a family member of his or whatever. And he snapped. You get what I'm saying? You don't know. We don't know.
Situations where a man just felt like I can't take care of my family. So I'm killing everybody and killing myself.
Now they see what I'm saying. You just see things. Yeah, I didn't. I wouldn't even seen it like that. And that's why you got the degree.
That's why what I do.
Right, that's what you do, and you probably seen situations like that. You've seen that.
I have.
And that was deep.
You just never know what nobody's going through. Just like people talk about, people are 1 or 2 checks away from poverty. Like you 1 or 2 crises away from suicide. You know what I'm saying? And people are always like, I couldn't. You don't know where you could be at. I'm a mental health therapist, licensed in 2 states, master's degree, and plenty of experience. And I have been on the edge of suicide myself. It could be anybody. Nobody is exempt. And Black people especially got to stop pretending like, I remember when Twitch died from suicide. He seemed so happy. Well, we were masked all day long. We learned to pretend to be happy. We've been doing that since damn slavery. You know what I'm saying? We learned to show the face that's necessary to get by. But that don't mean you ain't miserable on the inside. That don't mean you ain't coping well. You know what I'm saying? But we learn how to get along. We learn how to go along, And so years of that and generations of that or whatever, it's also on the backs of our mothers and our dads and these children. And nobody got healed. Nobody. People did not come out of slavery and they was like, would you like some therapy? You know what I'm saying? I'm still reading Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. Like that woman made so much sense when I started listening. Like so much of this stuff is just on the backs of all our ancestors that came before us, right? And now we're just now reaching a point that there are Black folks like me behind the desk and behind the table on the other side of the couch where you can feel even comfortable enough to go and talk to somebody about it. Because white folks is negating our experiences,
And that's all they had. I almost say damn near 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
That's all you saw.
Old white men. You know what I'm saying? And all that. So we couldn't get a fair shake even in trying to deal with our own things because they want to pretend like ain't no such thing as racism. Nigga, you being racist right now. Or you pretending like I'm not having the experience that I'm having and all that. So now there's more opportunity We just have to take the opportunity now, right? And recognize that, you know, I'm not trying to shrink your head. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to help you get free, you know,
Right.
and heal your shit so we can save our kids, so we can save each generation, you know, so we can be the village for each other that we are, you know. So remember that so much of this, that taking jobs and stuff out of a damn area and making it super impoverished when it was thriving is systemic. You know what I'm saying? That's a system issue. You mean to tell me don't, with all the workers that was there and available, can't no plant survive? That can't no other organization go there and start something for them people?
I mean,
they don't care.
Clarence Hawkins was trying, but then they voted him out.
You know? Exactly. Precisely.
And he had all the resources. He was even on the Obama thing in Baton Rouge, you know what I'm saying? And they voted him out. He ran again and he lost. Poverty, you know, and had nothing came since then. But all these other mayors that came behind him just knew they had a sure shot to get this done, that done. But they haven't. He was the only one keeping everything striving in the city. Whether they hate him or not, the proof is in the factory. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? In the factories. When he left, everything left.
They need it there. They need some way to be prosperous. Even a little bit. Even a little bit. People need hope. You know what I'm saying? So at this level, it's a damn dying city. And that ain't fair. That ain't right. You know what I'm saying? So there's
all the elementary schools are shut down except one or two. And the weekend or a weekend or two before that, one of the schools, elementary schools, they just shut down. Some kids set it on fire.
Wow.
In that same town. Burnt up a historic school. It was Henry B. Adams, H.B. Adams. They burnt that down.
Hopeless.
They set that school on fire. I was like, it's just so much going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, you know, and then the parents are angry because the ones who not able to move, they're angry, you know, and they searching for solutions and they're coming up short. So they're angry. I mean, you know, it's just a lot. It's a whole lot going on in that community, man. And I guess all you can do at this point is pray and then advise the parents to get a grip on your children before it's too late. You know what I'm saying? Start back policing them. Like I said on my post, you got to start back policing them because they have access to guns. They have access to drugs. They have access to all of this now, where you can count the people who had drugs when we were coming, the kids that had drugs when we was coming up. Now all of them got access to it. They can walk right around the corner, walk right in their backyard and get drugs now. So it's like you got to police them.
I got a question for you then.
Go ahead.
If you had access to any resource, money, whatever it was, to go in there and fix, and you needed to fix the problem, what do you think you would do if you had access to whatever it was?
At this point, because at one point I knew what to do and I did it. Seeing the teens of today, I wouldn't know where to start.
You wouldn't know where to start.
I wouldn't, because I've seen so many people like the people I named, the D.D. Jones. I mean, you got D.D. Green, you got Warren Anderson, and you got Leontre Jones. Those guys have tried so much to reach out and save the youth down there, but those kids are so the teens are so
angry,
nonchalant. Disrespectful, evil. They know how to get in there, and they like I say, they'll eat your food up. They'll benefit from what you have, and then go right back and fight. They'll even fight at your event now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Back in the Gap, I used to throw Juneteenth parties that would have 400 and 500 to 700 people in them, and the parents used to use me as leverage.
Yeah.
Saying that if you don't act right, you're not gonna go to DJ Black party. And they'll straighten up. If your grades ain't up, you ain't going to that dance.
Right.
They don't care about that no more because now they shooting at them. They shooting in the dances. They shooting when they walk out the parties now. So,
Mhm.
you know, and I stopped doing that about 8 years ago, seven years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And other people have came behind me and tried to do it, and it's been shootings. And if it's not shooting, it's not a good turnout. If it's a good turnout, they're gonna fight, they're gonna shoot. So I wouldn't know where to start.
And that's because, in essence, like you said, it's not the root. That's just a band-aid. That's the issue with that. You know, because basically you're going to this area and you're throwing a party to try to boost morale, right? And all that, but the root of the problem is still there. So when the party is gone, when the DJ is gone, when the block party is gone, we still back to what we was in.
Yeah. So I wouldn't know. And I often sat and like, what would you do? But it's a totally different breed of teens out there now.
Yeah.
They don't respect their parents, so they're not gonna respect you.
Right.
When I was doing it, was at the end of that.
Mm-hmm.
It was with the parents who demanded respect. You know what I'm saying? And now you got the 30-year-old parent that's coming up that has that 16, 17-year-old daughter because she had her when she was 12, 13 years old.
Right.
And now they fighting over each other boyfriends. And, you know, it's a different, it's a totally different thing now. It ain't like it was when I was doing it, you know? And I got videos and a lot of memories, but when I see people trying to do it now, it's nothing. And I'm probably gonna post it. A girl put on there, one of the ones used to come to the party. She put on there last year. She was like, "It ain't nothing for us to do no more. We used to have parties. We used to be turned up. We used to have fun. There wasn't no fighting. It's just a totally different breed out there now." So that's why I say we need a resolution. We need to find a solution, but we got to find the root of the issue. That root. And a lot of it is coming from the parents being occupied, whether work or doing them, and that child raising them, literally raising themselves. They don't have that guidance. So that's what I think it is. It's lack of guidance, which leads to lack of respect. Because like you said, if you came up under respect at a young age, so when you and your moms fell out or whatever you did to, you still, when she lost your job, went through what you went to, you still loved her because you grew up in love. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But just imagine if she put you off on an aunt, she put you off on a neighbor, she put you off on a cousin, and this from the time that when you start knowing who mama was. She constantly putting you out, whether it's for work, whether it's for the club, whether it's for a man, but you always going over somebody's house. How you would have grew up with that respect. You wouldn't have respected her at all, and you would be telling her you broke, you the one ain't got no job, and da 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 da. I'm finna get out here, I'm gonna work, I'm not gonna be you. You'll be telling her all that in her face if you didn't have that respect from that young child, that young Chanel growing up. And so, because when you became, what you call that? Because I was gonna tease you about your other name.
What?
Some Nail. What you call yourself?
Oh, Night War Nail.
Night War Nail. When you became Night War Nail with no love at the beginning of your childhood, ain't no telling how you would have been talking to your mom, your aunt, your dad, anybody can get, because you were angry, but you knew who loved, you knew who was there, you was appreciative because that was instilled in you from a baby.
That's true.
They're not instilling that as a baby. They're throwing them on the grandparent, okay? So then when the grandparent get up there, and let's just say, God forbid, the grandparent died when that child turns 7, 8, maybe 10 years old, grandma died. Now you're looking at this mom. What mama gonna do with you when you used to grandma?
That's right.
You talk to your mama like she was your older sister.
Right.
And so now here she go after grandma and passed, or grandma health and went down, and now you got to go back to your mom. And you looking at mama like, okay, what's up? You know what I'm saying? We don't have that connection. Now, mom, keep in mind, mama didn't had another child or two.
Right.
Since you've been with grandma. And now when you get back there, Y'all don't have that mother-daughter connection, but she loved the other two back-to-back staircase kids. And you know, and it's a situation that I deal with on the regular.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? And so that separation, because they love it, because I'm like, that's your mom, but y'all act like distant cousins or sisters from time to time. Where does that come in at? And then when you start noticing, okay, well, my grandmama raised me.
Right.
She raised those two. She showed them more love than what she shows me.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Then when I went back to her house, I had to raise my brothers and sisters with a mother who don't love me like she loves them. And then I'm like, but you know, and so being that I grew up so different, I just didn't understand that, because we were taught you can tell how a woman is by how she treats her mom. But if the mom treated them like crap, I didn't help raise them, and she don't see her mom like that, that don't make sense. I can't take that and hold that. Oh, you treat your mom and you curse your mama.
Yeah, but my mom, no. But see,
that was in a perfect.
My grandma, because my grandma is my mom.
Exactly, and I had to learn that. You get what I'm saying? But in a perfect world, your mama raised you, and if you disrespect your mom, or if a guy talk down to his mom or his father, you need to watch him. But if you don't know how they grew up or their relationship, so you couldn't learn it. So I had to unlearn. When I got grown, when I left college, and I'm gonna say 25 to 28.
Yeah.
I had to unlearn. Just imagine, my mind was made up on what a perfect man was, what a perfect woman was, what a perfect life was. And then you had to tear all that shit down at 25 and so 25 to 28. And so now you broken as shit trying to piece stuff back together, because you finna be 30 raising kids and with a lady in your life. But then you have to start all over, because everything you was taught from 8 years old to 25, it don't exist no more. You get what I'm saying? It's like, I can't go off that. You're supposed to turn your back on a woman that has kids. You don't want a ready-made family, is what they say.
Yeah, they say it all the time.
But then when you looked in the world, every damn body had a child. So what do I do? So Janelle, Janelle, when I tell you life is crazy, and that's why the old men used to always say, keep living and you'll learn. And that's what I did. I just kept living and learning. Then at the end of the day, damn the norm. You gotta survive in this world.
That's right.
And either you gonna go with the norm and do without and be miserable, or you fix your life to what's suitable to you and what you can deal with. Because we were taught, don't get in a ready-made family. Just like right now, they teaching to the people, marriage is not what you want. Do not do the marriage thing. That was 20 years ago. That was 10 years ago. You don't do that today. These women is out here today is not worth marrying. But yet there are women that's good for a hand in marriage. There are men that's good for a hand in marriage. So it's what suits your situation. But when we grew up, and now I see why you be so against the norm, because when we grew up, they had us in a damn box.
They don't. I hate the box.
They had us in a hellified box.
I hate the box.
But that's what we were in. Yeah. And the box is perfect. And to them. But then when, like you said, when we saw that grandma wasn't really that happy, mama wasn't really that happy, great grandma wasn't really that happy, but they had gender roles, and she knew her role was he go out and work. It was father knows best type shit. He go out and work. She cooked, clean, took care of the kids. So if he had 2 families, 3 families, he hid them pretty good. Every now and then, Sister Lee let her know that she think he's seeing Martha. Sister Martha. You get what I'm saying? But that didn't bother her, because Big Mama lived by, she didn't see it, and he didn't admit to it. So it don't exist. You get what I'm saying? And like I told you on the previous podcast, she didn't drive. So he
Right.
had it made.
He had it made.
Popular
Yep.
man in town,
Mhm.
did his thing.
Yep.
So what Big Mama didn't see, she didn't let it bother her. She'll just say, oh, look, she was so spiritual. She was just like, oh, Lord, the Lord gonna take care of her anyway. So
Yeah.
she just gonna do what she gonna do. I'm gonna take care of these kids. I'm gonna wash these clothes. I'm gonna make sure food on the table. I'm gonna keep this house clean. He gonna work. He gonna come home. If he say after he come home, he take him a bath, get all smelling good, and he leave out, I'll be back in a minute. I'll be back out a while. She didn't care. She was like, okay, you just be careful while you're out there. You be careful. That's all she used to say. And she keep on washing them dishes. You know what I'm saying? So, but like you said, she wasn't happy. When you broke that down, Big Mama wasn't happy. She just knew her role, and she married, and they wasn't breaking vows back then. She didn't believe in breaking vows. You know what I'm saying?
They ain't leave her with nothing.
She didn't believe in shacking. I couldn't live. I couldn't. I had to lie for a long time. I had to lie for a long time, and so that's why when I got married before she died, because she didn't want us shacking. And my brother jumped up because of Big Mama, and married a woman. They didn't last a year.
All for Big Mama.
All Big Mama, because he didn't want to shack. Because we couldn't shack.
Yeah.
She found out we shacking. That wasn't what it do. That's a scene. Shacking a scene. I couldn't play. We couldn't shoot dice in her house. We couldn't play cards in her house. She was very, very religious. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Had Martin Luther King picture on there, and had the fan with Martin Luther King on.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So Big Mama was Big Mama. And so so times are just totally different now. And Phantom likes saying times are different, but the morals rules or something are the same. Not necessarily. Yeah. Respecting everything is still the same. Right. Morale, that's still the same.
Each other. We should be taking care of each other. Those things are the things that should have remained, and that's kind of falling apart. You know what I'm saying? Like, like you was talking about respecting. Like we need to respect. The kids need to be able to respect just life, just human life. You know, like we just don't respect human life at all. Like you can pop somebody and they can be dead, and you're okay with that? Like that's not okay. That is not okay.
Especially for the reasons that they're doing it.
Doing it too, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because somebody disrespect you on social media, somebody called you out your name in front of some people.
Yeah.
That ain't worth it. Now you breaking their house and you hit their mama across the head with a gun. That's different. You hit their mama across the head with a baseball bat, a dad or something.
Yeah.
But just because somebody calls you a punk ass nigga.
Defend your mama, your wife. That's
different. But just because somebody calls you a punk ass nigga, slut, you know what I'm saying, a hoe on social media, you ready to kill.
Like, no.
Just because y'all messing with the same guy.
You use words. Like,
you know what I'm saying? And that's why I said on the other podcast, I believe in that sticks and stones break your bones, but words don't hurt.
But they do.
If they don't touch you, we didn't really mess with them. We be like, you can talk all that crap you want, but if you touch me, it's a different story. Now you say the wrong thing, you can get in the dirt.
Words hurt when you ain't got your shit together, though. Those words hurt when that's what you're telling yourself on the inside. You identifying with it. Because what they used to say also, it ain't what they call you, it's what you answer to.
Right.
And you respond to that with violence. You just answered it. You answered it. You answered what they called you. You know, because that's how you feel about yourself.
And you said that's deep.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Simple as that.
But I just hope they get it together, because I can just imagine how those parents feel with those I'm sure with those young children that you couldn't enjoy till they turn 20, till they turn 30, till they put you in the ground. You know what I'm saying? Children supposed to bury their parents, not the other way around. And I just hate that happened. And I just happen to know, I know one of them for sure. Mm-hmm. And then the murder suicide, I knew one of them, the parent also. Mm-hmm. But I just hate that all that's happening down there. But that is a depressed city. and they really don't have, like you say, too much to do down there. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's probably why more people go out and party.
Yeah.
You know, to escape for that moment.
Escape from that.
But when you'd have been there, done it, you and I realized that I can go out here and get high right now. I can drink myself into a coma. But when that high, that drunk go down, that problem, that issue is still there. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but a lot of people don't understand that. And I don't worry about a lot. And like I try to preach to people, I do what I can do within my power.
Within your power, yeah.
And that I can't, I don't worry about.
Right.
And I walk by faith. So for somehow, you know, through faith in the creator. And that's why when people say it ain't no God, it's just hard to believe because
right.
so much that's like miracle happen. Like I say, I could literally need $3,000 right now. And something is gonna happen. Let's just say I need $3,000 by the 25th. And I didn't use all my resources. I ain't gonna get no more loans. I ain't gonna ask nobody for shit. You know, I don't believe in asking people for nothing. I can be starving and it can be a bread factory right across the street. I ain't been asking for no bread. Now, if they see me outside and they have to say, hey, you want a slice of bread? I get it. But I'm not gonna ask for it. And like I said, my parents say that's gonna be my downfall, my pride. But I can know I need $3,000. I do everything in my power to get it. Once I done exhausted all my resources, somebody called me and said, hey man, we got Alpha Week going on next week. And they looking for a DJ and they gonna need you for 4 days. There go my $3,000 right there.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? I tell you what, I'll do it for $650 a night or $700 a night. That's my $3,000 right there. You know, and they give me for 4 nights. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a firm believer in that. So if it's not, I got a hell of fire for it. And I be teasing people. I say I'm anointed. Things that happen to y'all don't happen to me. But what about such that ain't gonna happen to me? But what if you do this and that don't happen to me? And it happened thus far. So but yeah, so I just say that to say I just hate to see and hear people going through what they're going through when you feel like you're favored and you see them going through what they go through, and then you wondering why. You know what I'm saying? Why? But then you don't supposed to question the creator. You know what I'm saying? So it's just so much.
All things happen for a reason and a purpose. And
but that's just hard when you see children.
Concentration and meditation is, you know, that if there's something within my power that the creator wants me to do, you know, since we're having this discussion or whatever, if he brings something to us that we can do to help, then we do it. You know what I'm saying? And all that. And we wait on the call and we go for it if it comes to us, you know, and all that. And outside of that, whoever sees this and knows about it, and, you know, if it's within your power, you know, and you see a way to get solutions or whatever, then let's band together and get some solutions and all that kind of stuff. You know, I'm definitely down for that, but none of us can do it alone. None of us can do anything about it. There's so many different pieces to this.
That's why I was like, if it's anything anybody can suggest, you know what I'm saying? Because we're open for suggestions with this, because something has to change. Something got to give. This is, it's just it's too out there. But like JL say, we'll reset the room. Shout out to Janelle and Deshay and KD Dawson that commented on here tonight. But you know, my condolences to the families that was affected by the tragedy that happened this past weekend. And we need a resolution and a solution. And it's hard because don't nobody know at this point where to start.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I know I'm out of it. I don't know where to start. I've seen people try to duplicate and redo what I did years ago, and it's not working. So
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm just sitting back. It's a totally different breed of teams,
Mhm.
and ain't nothing. There's nothing working right now.
Yeah.
But like you
Yeah, even
said,
if they got some teenagers out there that know, come on now.
I thought,
They
and
know
you know,
what to do
while we
with
were
your
sitting here, I was
generation.
just
Help
thinking
us.
about that. I said maybe
Help
we
us
could get
help
some
you.
teams that's out there to step up
Yeah.
and say, well, this is what's going
This is
on.
what's going on. Tell us
But
what
they
you're
tried
doing.
that on another panel
Mhm.
where they had a bunch of the teams in there, and they was just as lost.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just a stagnant. But I'm sure in New York, I'm sure in Oakland, I can probably reach
Mhm.
out to my cousins and things and try to come back
Yeah.
with a similar topic of somebody who didn't, you know, kind of been there, done
Been
that,
there, done
because it's
that.
real bad in Oakland right now.
Okay. Yeah. So
Terrible.
we need
And
to
I'm
hear
sure
that.
you know one or two people in New Orleans that have probably been there
Oh,
and
yeah.
done that.
Uh-huh.
And we'll just revamp this, you know, in a few weeks or so and
Mhm.
bring on people who can try to help find a solution. Because like you said, when you say if we can come up with the funding, what do we think we can do? And I really
Yeah.
don't know. You know what I'm
Because
saying? I don't have it.
millions of dollars right now. I wouldn't even know where to start.
Yeah.
You know.
So but yeah, we'll have to look into that and come back, because I'm sure it's people out there that's that have been there, done that, that can come and help with a solution. So
Yeah.
we'll revamp it and get some powerhouses on here
Looking for
to see how
solutions.
that they deal with it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I should have reached out to Carl Gibbons because he dealt with the youth a lot, and he was on the police force, so he's seen a whole lot, and he know a whole lot.
Okay.
And when that happened, it just happened spare of the moment, and I just altered the show because I had a
Yeah.
whole different
Yeah, I
topic
noticed.
coming up. And then when they hit me with that, and
You just
everybody, a
found
couple
out
people
about
inboxed me, man, you need to talk about this on there, man. I was like,
Mhm.
man, I was gonna go in on this. So I said, let me just pause and I'll switch it up a little bit.
Just
But
listen.
like you said, if anybody see it and they got any suggestions, let's do it. Then I'll revamp it and come back,
Mhm.
you know, and hope don't nothing else happen between now and then that prompt me to come back sooner
Like
than,
so.
you know, what I planned.
Mhm.
But with that, we're gonna guess close it out, land this plane, as he would say. We're gonna land this plane.
Gonna land this plane.
But yeah, appreciate you, Chanel, and I will be communicating with you more because there's a lot of things going on. But you in Texas, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's where Phantom is, and the Austin, the other guy. All
Austin
of
and
them is in the Dallas Fort Worth area.
all right,
So
cool.
you out there with them. So I'm in
Yeah.
the A. So whenever you this way or they this way, we need to kind of. I want all us to hook up one day. You know what I'm
Cool.
saying?
That'd be
And
good.
and you know, properly meet and hang out. And so
That's all
that's coming up soon. I'm gonna try to work something out on that.
word.
But with that being said, though, I shouted out to KD Dawson and Deshae for coming on. I think that's pretty much it. And till next week, same channel, same time. Speak on it, and we can spoke on it. And
There it is.
we're out. Have a good night. Peace.